Good way to find a new job. Go to thenewmonster.com or download our app today.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
We're on a mission to connect every Arizona service member, veteran, and their families to the support and resources they deserve. If you or someone you know needs assistance with benefits, health care and wellness, employment, or housing, visit connectveterans.org or call 866-4AZ-VETS right now to learn more. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veterans Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs. Protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
This is Dale Hellestray from my friends at Constructors Bonding. If you need bonds, you can put your trust in Arizona's industry leader for the best service, rates, terms, and capacity anywhere. Constructors Bonding is the #1 writer with 14 sureties and will improve your bond program. Call Dave McKee today to learn how Constructors Bonding will perform for you. 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 or visit cbialliance.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 Robert Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White or Ralph from Harmon Solar. We got Izzy hanging out with us again today. Keon Rose is in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. So now it looks like my mouth's not going to work either. That's fine. Hey, we're broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar studio in Scottsdale. At least I said that right. And I'm a little bit kerfuffled. I'm a little bit befuddled. I'm a little bit discombobulated. I got something on my mind, and it should be on your minds too. That you should be annoyed by this. You should be aggravated. And I'm not talking about the morning show. I'm talking about the NBA has announced the finalists for MVP, this, that, and the other, and down to 3 peoples in each one of these categories. And there's no Devin Booker in the Most Valuable Player Award segment. Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic, they're in there. I don't see a Chris Paul. I don't see a Devin Booker, and I think that's a travesty. And I don't know if you guys feel the same. Maybe I'm just being sensitive or a complete homer about things. But that kind of bugged me. I don't know. That just kind of got me a little bit aggravated. Am I right, or should I just calm down and just understand that was never going to happen anyway?
No, you're right. In this particular case, it would be, you could be accused of being a homer, but
I'll punch you in the mouth. I'm sorry. That I shouldn't have said that.
Go ahead. I said you could be.
Speak your piece. No, it's fair. If I am, it's fair.
I'm not going to, though, because I don't know if I've ever seen an MVP race where at least one of the best players, if not the best player on the best team in the league, isn't even a finalist. I don't know.
It's that Suns disrespect. That's what that is. And who determines this? The media. Media vote is what's determined this.
Yeah.
6 of these awards determined by media vote. So, of course, the Suns are going to get hosed, even with Mikal Bridges as one of the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year, even with Monty Williams, who should be the front runner, runaway winner of that award. I feel like there's still a good chance we get screwed.
I mean, it's already happening, right? Izzy, wouldn't you say that's odd if the best player on the best team isn't even a finalist?
Yeah, to be honest, this is pretty much mind-blowing. I mean, granted, you got Joel Embiid averaging Herman Giannis averaging 30 points a game, but they still had their struggles throughout the season. You know, the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker kept dominating the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, the whole league. So, yeah, I think Devin Booker definitely got snubbed.
Of course, then in the at the end of the game, Chris Paul made a damn good case for himself. We're going to get to all the games that happened over the weekend here in a moment, but I just wanted to take a moment here and be aggravated. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can accept that if I'm wrong, but not from you, Izzy. You keep your mouth shut. But I can accept if I'm wrong, and I'll punch you in the face, Keon. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it's just my first response. It's not right. It's incorrect. You should contact HR immediately. But, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Very violent today.
This pissed me off. It did. And it shouldn't, because we all saw this coming. So here's who you got. Like I said, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. For Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart, Mikal Bridges, Rudy Gobert. Rookie of the Year. Okay, I can't get too upset about that. And Mobley, Scotty Barnes, and Cade Cunningham. 6th Man of the Year. I feel like we should have had somebody in that category too. Look how damn deep this bench is. Okay, maybe I'm getting picky, but Tyler Hurl, he's a Hurl
hero.
He's got a lot of R's in there.
There's a lot of R's.
Like we should
pronounce hero somehow.
Hurl, Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson. That's ours. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. Cam Johnson. Okay, never mind. I'm not as mad anymore.
All is right in the world again.
No,
not all, but some.
Oh, good. I completely my eyes didn't see that. Coach of the Year, Monty Williams. After that, you got Spoelstra, Jenkins. It shouldn't matter. And Most Improved Player of the Year, Ja Morant, DeJounte Murray, and Darius Garland. Who do you think is most improved?
I would probably go towards Garland. I don't even know why Ja Morant is on this list. I know he got hurt, but he was great the whole time. Most improved is usually somebody who was struggling, somebody who was maybe faltering a little bit, and then found their footing and found their way. When has Ja Morant actually been bad?
Yeah, so where's
good from day one?
Where's the improved come from?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah. So I'm being told by people other than those who work for me that my audio is bad. Do I need to do a thing and reset a thing?
You might. You sound a little garbly.
All right, you guys talk about the NBA awards finalists, and if you can find some anger, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to reset my stuff. I'll be right back.
I mean, I am certainly plenty upset about Devin Booker not being a finalist. I figured because the media and the Suns, which is a thing I'm starting to learn how this works, moving out here, that he might not win it. I thought he might not win it. The fact that he wouldn't be a finalist.
Yeah, that's robbery. That's definitely that's just highway robbery. But I can't take away from Joel Embiid and Giannis. They have been good this year, but Giannis hasn't been playing MVP level. Not from the last 2 MVPs he had.
Yeah, he hasn't played to that level. I understand Embiid because he's leading the league in scoring, and as a center, that hasn't happened since Shaq.
Right.
And Jokic is a advanced analytics darling. He will always put up the advanced numbers that make the journalists go crazy. But Giannis hasn't played, like you said, Giannis hasn't played to the MVP level that we've seen Giannis play at. And with how good Devin Booker was this year, it simply does not make any sense that he's not even a finalist. Not even a finalist. That's just this award is bizarre because We never seem to, on an annual basis, define exactly what an MVP is. And then you end up with nonsense like this.
Right, exactly. Even years, like you just said, years ago, James Harden. There's just, we didn't know what an MVP was. James Harden was in the running, but the Rockets they had a 500 season. So how can you be MVP if you're not winning? Devin Booker is winning. How is he not nominated? The Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers are doing great, but they're not Suns level. They're not Suns caliber. Chris Paul was gone for a grip. Devin Booker came back. He was the one that had to step up, but he's been doing this for years. So it's just robbed again.
All right, now I'm starting to have regrets about. Am I on, by the way?
You are
hear me?
Yep,
yeah, I'm starting to have regrets about getting upset because now I feel like maybe I'm being greedy. I mean, the MVP, all right, that's something where one of our guys, especially Booker, should be up in there. But now it's like, well, yeah, but we got Sixth Man of the Year, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, guys in the running for there. So maybe I overreacted. And by the way, is my audio any better yet?
It's a little better.
God damn it. It's one of those days. Gonna be one of those days. That's what happens. I shouldn't have started out grumpy. That's what I get.
Do you think it's the karma? It's just coming back around for it.
Is there karma on just being grumpy about something?
I don't know. I don't know how the karma works, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to figure out how that has managed to derail your audio.
I don't know. Well, whatever the case, all right. I feel a little better now that Cam Johnson is in there, Mikal Bridges is in there, but this whole process is stupid. Every sport, the MVP, there's variations on how it is done. And what would you guys feel like the best way to do this would be? Not the media. I'm not going to sit here. Well, Bruce Jacobs would appreciate it if I did, but I'm not going to sit here and bash on media and say, oh, they're the root of all evil. They're the problem. But right now, can they be right? And what is the criteria? What makes you the MVP of the league? Most valuable player? Is that going to mean best player in the league? Is that going to be most valuable player to a team? Is that it's already sort of changed, and there hasn't been any consistency with that. We've seen that happen when it comes to football, basketball, and baseball. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody maybe, I don't know, open up a dictionary, talk to an English teacher. Hey, what does most valuable player mean to you? And then we all agree that's the thing. Yeah. Because this way of doing it don't seem like it's getting it done.
No, it doesn't. And it's vague. And like when I ask questions on four quarters, sometimes I like to keep it vague because I like to make us argue.
Well, that just pisses me off.
To be honest,
why you do that?
But the arguing is the fun. This is a radio show. But when it comes to, the MVP of the league, guys, legacies are defined by this stuff. People make contract cases with whether or not they win the MVP. These things are long term. You can't have that be vague and open ended and 17 different sports writers giving you 17 different definitions of what the most valuable player is. I think you probably go. I don't want to eliminate media people entirely, because if you watch the game a lot, there are certain observations you're going to make. But I do think you should include players. People who are competing against their peers, understand who good players are, and include coaches.
All right, let's peel off all the ways that could work and all the ways that can't work. So let's say you're saying players, coaches, media. That's who votes for MVP.
Yes.
Period. Okay, well, now you've got some issues there, because I can see, maybe a coach being instructed by the owner, don't vote for them MVP, we'll have to pay him more. I can see, other coaches and players dissing a player maybe that is better, but they don't like, by not voting for them. You know what I'm saying? There's all sorts of ways. We saw a guy who's like, I'm not voting for, I'm not voting for Aaron Rodgers because I just think he's a jerk. Well, no, that's not it's not the not a jerk prize, is it? It's supposed to be, most valuable player. So, there's a lot of, you either let everybody vote so it dilutes the haters. I'm talking, including that's fans, not just media, players, and coaches. You want to throw in owners, you want to throw in other. Everybody has an angle when they're in the sport. The people watching are the ones. And then the problem with that, though, is somebody tries to stuff a ballot box. They just all go for the most popular team. Then the teams in New York and LA win all the time. So
as a fan, I don't want fans involved because I see the NBA All-Star Game that's decided by.
You're just part of the media elite, and I think that maybe Bruce Jacobs is right about you.
Elite. Thank you for that compliment. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Part of the media elite. I wish. I just think that the media and the players and the coaches, they're all going to have their own different, like you said, their own different reasons for voting. But hopefully they overlap and cover up those reasons with one another. So you end up closer to the true answer. I think once you add fans in there, I don't know how you make sure people vote only once, stuff like that. It gets a little bit out of hand. The NBA All-Star Game is a prime example of you let fans vote, and you have people in the All-Star Game that didn't play a game this season, stuff like that. I think that those three groups, coaches, players, and media, figure out amongst yourselves how this works, so you kind of have the
criteria was clear too. It'd be nice.
Yeah, and that's the most important part. I think is what is the most valuable player, because I have seen people make the case that it's the best player on the best team. Well, if that's the case, Chris Paul or Devin Booker ought to be in that conversation.
Absolutely. So if you look at every team, each team has its own MVP. And then if you're going to say the league MVP, well, if you're the most valuable player to the league, then that should be the best player in all of the league. And that doesn't necessarily mean that player wins a championship that year. That would just be the statistical best player, as well as somebody who's voted in by their peers and other people in the sport. So I'd be okay with a league MVP and then team MVPs, because that if people say, well, that team wouldn't win without that guy, but that team would win without that guy. Well, that doesn't mean that guy's a lesser player, and that doesn't mean the other guy's a better player. It means, well, here's what the team is. So we've got to clarify this and decide what it's going to be, or else it's always just going to be silliness. It's just not. Do people care, or do they even pay attention to what this is based on?
People care. I mean, you talk about, who is the greatest of all time, for instance, that tired conversation, and what ends up coming up is the MVPs and the defensive player of the years, and all of the awards you win also come up in those arguments. So the award has to be meaningful for that to mean anything.
All right, so here I'm going to ask Izzy, because he's a Bulls fan for some reason. Who's the MVP of your Bulls?
Of DeMar DeRozan.
Okay. Who's the MVP of your Wizards, Keon?
Normally it's Bradley Beal, but he was hurt this year, so I'm going to go. What's their MVP?
Some guy.
Kristaps Porzingis after the trade deadline.
All right, and then I'm going to say it's hard for the Suns, because it could be Chris Paul, it could be Devin Booker, but I'm going to go with Chris Paul on this one, even over Devin Booker, just because of all the intangibles that he brings to it. So see how quick and easy that was? The fans for their own team can choose that and say, hey, so then the other, if the other coaches and players in the league, they don't have any, they got nothing riding on it, they could look at the Suns and say, well, clearly it's that guy. And who's this? Oh, yeah, that's clearly that guy. And so that might take away some of the the mashugana that goes with trying to pick a singular guy. Now, if you've chosen those for all those, who chooses the league-wide most valuable player? Because now the criteria has changed. Not what can you do for your team, but who is just the best player? Is that a pure statistical exercise, or is there more to it?
To be honest, I think there'll be more to it. When you look at Russell Westbrook a couple years back, he averaging a triple-double and still got booted out first round in the playoffs. You won MVP, but what did you do for your team, and what did you do for the league itself? Granted, that's a historic career for yourself, but
hold on there. With Russell Westbrook, what did he do for his team? He brought those stats. He brought that game that he has. The fact that they weren't able to work with what he brought them, you can't blame him for that.
Well, he still's not able to be the guy to play beside. He still, even since then, nobody still is able to manage to be able to play with him and have some type of success. I think you still have to put that on him.
So he's a difficult person, but that doesn't mean he's not still the most valuable player.
But he was for that 1 year. He was valuable to that team for 1 year. But I think that's just about what did you after the whole thing, after it all, what did you do? There was no.
But we've already said making him most valuable to his team is a separate thing from who's most valuable to the league.
Yeah,
meaning the best player, hands down, whether they've won anything or not. Who's the best player? That makes them the most valuable player, doesn't it?
I would think so. I mean, that going back to that Russell Westbrook, I mean, he averaged a triple-double for an entire season, which we hadn't seen since Oscar Robertson. Like, people thought that wasn't possible to do in the modern era of basketball, especially as a point guard. And he was able to do that. So I think, yeah, he was, I think he earned the MVP that year. But you have some years where there are strong statistical cases you can make in a number of different directions. Like Joel Embiid is leading the league in scoring as a center, which, is something that we've seen Shaq do, and then nobody else since. So that's really impressive. That's a lot of value for the league. And then Jokic is the best passing big man. The guys that were the finalists, there are a lot of arguments there for them to be there. But
Sure.
I also think, like what you said earlier with Chris Paul, some of the stuff can't be quantified that makes somebody the
Well,
best
that makes
player.
him the best player to their team. Just because Chris Paul is the best player to the Suns doesn't mean he's going to be the most valuable player in the entire league under the criteria that we're trying to change. You know what I'm saying? He absolutely should be in the same conversation the way it is now with Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic. And it's a travesty that he's not. I'm saying, can we all just figure this out for baseball, basketball, hockey, football? Most valuable player needs to mean something more to the actual English words that we're using. Most valuable player, and give us the rules, give us the pathway, and I think that you'll have more consistency and less people being pissed off.
What is value? I think that's where we need to start, because some of the stat guys will start pulling up advanced stats. Some of the old school guys will be like, look, he rebounds well and he scores a lot.
All right, maybe it's this where you say most valuable player for the teams and then best player of the year or player of the year. You just take the MV off that thing, player of the year, and you find the guy who is the best player out there, period, no matter who he is.
Maybe that's the way to go, because they have the player. I think it's the player of the year in college basketball, and there tends to be a lot less arguing about who deserves to win that award.
And Keon, something that we all need to understand is Izzy is not media elite, so you don't have to worry, Izzy. Nobody's coming after you.
I'm trying to get there. I'm working my way.
I'm just an entertainer. I'm not even a sports talk show host. Keon, he's the snooty media elite that everybody talks about. He's the one you should point your angst and anger at right there. Not me, not Izzy. Izzy wants to be media elite, but he's got a ways to go. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about those games. We started off with the Phoenix Suns. We'll talk about all the other playoff games that happened this weekend. It was a great weekend of sports, I'll tell you that much. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Arizona Diamondbacks at baseball. They had been scheduled to match up against the Washington Nationals later on today. That game has already been postponed. They are set to make it up with a doubleheader coming up tomorrow. NHL hockey, the Arizona Coyotes, they are at home tonight as they match up against the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes are big road favorites. Hurricanes are paying out at -400 on the money line. If the Coyotes do win, it's a good payout as they pay out at +310. The over-under being set at 6.5 goals, with the Hurricanes favored by 1.5 goals. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 The Fanatic.
Here's football star Tony Romo for Skechers Max Cushioning Footwear.
You know when you go to your kid's game and you have to sit on those uncomfortable, super hard bleachers? That's how I feel now when I wear regular shoes. Why? Because once I started wearing Skechers Max Cushioning, I've been spoiled with how amazing pillow on them. Because Skechers maxed out the cushioning with a thick, comfy slice of super light Ultra Go cushioning for a soft, pillowy feel with every step. And the comfort doesn't end there. Max Cushioning also has Skechers air-cooled Goga Mat insoles, and they're machine washable and very affordable. These definitely won't max out your budget, so don't settle for inferior cushioning. Treat yourself to maximum cushion with Skechers Max Cushioning.
You heard Tony Romo. Now feel the difference extra cushioning can make for yourself with ultra comfortable, machine washable Skechers Max Cushioning footwear. See all the fashionable styles of Max Cushioning for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari talks about the benefits of a financial advisor.
Not only the technicals and the fundamentals and the valuation, but you have to look at the macro picture. And that requires a lot of work where you're looking at the sectors and industries within the sectors. And then you find the stocks within the sectors that are doing better. And then you have to do the work on those individual stocks. And you sort of go to tons of sand before you find those nuggets of gold. And the discipline to do that continuously, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that is the hard part. People become traders, but they have a job, they've got a family, they get distracted. And then you look at it 3 weeks later and it's all history. Like your personal trainer who keeps your health on check, this is why you need a financial advisor to keep your emotions in check.
If you need help keeping your investments on track, call pound 250 and say talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
We just can't help it. We have to do it. It's in our DNA. At 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, we have to bring you the most epic moments in sports.
NCAA football, NASCAR racing, Arizona Mariners football, golf, Vegas Raiders, March Madness, NFL playoffs, and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we can't help it. We are 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Wow, we all got teams in the playoffs. Oh, sorry, Keon. Izzy's Bulls are in the playoffs. The Suns are in the playoffs. The Wizards are in Cancun, but that's all right.
Yeah, I'm trying to be in the lottery, man. My team stinks. Let's get better.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for. But you're used to that, so it's okay. You're able to enjoy the Suns winning and, of course, the Bulls losing. You can enjoy that without, looking over your shoulder at your own team, right? Or does it hurt you when you watch the playoffs, Keon, to be like, yeah, it doesn't look like my team at all. Not at all.
No. But I think probably because Bradley Beal got hurt so early in the season, the Wizards were out of playoff contention so early. It didn't even begin to hurt. It was over so fast.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to talk about all the games. So Izzy, calm down. We will talk about the inevitable thing that's going to happen to your Bulls in just a minute. Okay. I'm sure you'll have plenty of insight on, what'll happen in the next 3 games before you're out, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. You'll have your chance. Okay. Right now, I can't believe he takes that.
I was going for 4. I was at least going for 4 extra games.
Well, at least steal 1.
Well, yeah.
The Bulls would have needed a 7-game series back in the days they had 5. Anyway, so let's talk about the Phoenix Suns last night. All right. Plenty of drama in that game last night. Plenty of amazing play. It started out great. Suns playing defense. Hooray. And then all of a sudden in the was it more in the third?
It was more in the third quarter.
No, well, I'm saying in the third, was it more that the Pelicans just were doing great, or that the Suns kind of took a nap on stuff? Because the Pelicans had a 37-point third. So what do you suppose really happened there? Did the Suns just get tired of beating them so badly? They wanted to make it interesting. I don't think that's how it works.
No, I think it's a combination of the Suns aren't as in rhythm as the Pelicans are, because the Suns have had a little bit of time off.
A little rust.
Yeah, a little bit of rust. And the Pelicans have had those play-in games. So they needed a couple of must-win games. They're already in playoff mode. So there was going to be a stretch of time where they're going to play well. And look, this team with CJ McCollum can score.
Mm-hmm.
So really, that was going to happen at some point in the game. There are going to be stretches where this Pelicans team does play well against the Suns, but can they do it for 4 quarters? No.
Can they do it for more than 7 games? No, they won't make it. They won't. I don't know if I'm going to agree with Charles Barkley, who's predicting a sweep. I don't know if I'm going to get that cocky about it. I think the Pelicans probably steal a game, but yeah, I mean, it's more that the Suns have to have a bad game and Pelicans have to have a great game for them to actually get a win out of this series. But I don't see 2. Do you see 2? I have a hard time with that. I don't see 2. Who knows? Yeah, you got to play all the games, and a lot of stuff happened in this game last night. So they got back within 6, and then Chris Paul was like, "Oh hell no!" And he just jumped up off the bench, put on his Superman cape, and scored like 17, 19 straight points without even thinking about it. 3 threes in a row. Made a case for MVP, if you ask me. There, but okay. So he got them back into place. They started playing a little bit better defense. I'm not going to say a lot, but a little bit better defense in the 4th. And, they were able to hold off the Pelicans. I shouldn't have to say hold off the Pelicans. Not when you got them down by like 30. It just seemed a little bit disappointing that they were able to come back. And I think the big story there had to have been the rebounds. And, just when you think DeAndre Ayton is getting aggressive and ready to go, and he had some good play, and he started getting his bell rung. And he starts getting pushed around. He starts getting elbows from Valenzuela's or whatever the hell that beefy guy's name is.
Valanciunas.
And then this other guy came running across and headbutted him or something. It was like I was watching soccer. You think that was intentional, by the way? I think it was intentional. When that dude, kind of ran through DeAndre Ayton and clocked him in the face.
I think so. I honestly think that the way that the Pelicans are trying to hang around in this series is to get ultra physical with DeAndre Ayton and make sure that he is frustrated early in the game. And that means they're going to be a little dirty. I mean, you're going to see that happen in the playoffs. Teams be a little bit dirtier, try and find that Achilles heel. And teams do, I think, identify DeAndre Ayton as the guy that they ought to go beat up.
It was scoreboard sympathy when the refs didn't call it. They went and reviewed, and they said, "No, it was incidental." How is it incidental? The guy leapt in midair, put his shoulder into the dude's face. Now, that happens all the time. I mean, I was at the grocery store the other day. Come on.
It's a natural basketball move, launching yourself head first. Don't you see that happen constantly?
And then
like 80 style.
How about the Valenzuela's elbow thing he kept doing into DeAndre Ayton's face? He couldn't catch a break, and so that was it wasn't the aggressive DeAndre Ayton you want to see. You want him to get mad. Not sit down on the bench, cover his face up like he's about to start crying. You want him angry. And maybe that's not what you want. Maybe he goes all Hulk smash, and then the next thing you know, he's in jail. I don't know.
Or ejected from a game. Because the thing is with DeAndre Ayton, I do think that he is, and I don't think that we're ever going to see this change. He is mostly a finesse guy, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just when you see that Valanciunas had 25 rebounds, I know he's a great rebounder, but that can't happen in a playoff game. But Ayton scored 21 points, and he was really efficient at it. So he gave as good as he got scoring wise. But Valanciunas, as good as he is, as physical as he is, you can't let that guy beat you up like that and grab 25 boards. No,
yeah, and I don't care if you I don't care if you get a technical foul. You need to get him back and make him think twice. And you need to struggle. You need to get those rebounds. That's what you're being, wanting to be max paid for, right? So the thing about Valanciunas, I want to come up with a clever or just childish nickname for this guy because I don't like him. I don't like the way he's getting away with stuff. And I need a better than I don't know what to call him. But what would be a good ding on Valanciunas? There's got to be something. I'm just not thinking about it.
I don't know. I mean, because he's not that interesting a guy.
Yeah, he doesn't really do much. Yeah.
So it's hard to play.
Well, play on words in his name, not like Jokic is an interesting guy. It was easy. Jokic. Valanciunas. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? There's got to be something there.
I don't know.
Something that rhymes. You know,
let's get the fourth dimension.
Because
they're really good at it.
We need some bullies on this because that's how bullies work. They find your name, then they try to rhyme it, and then find something to embarrass. Like, hey Gary, hey Ferry, hey Barry. You know what I'm saying? So Valanciunas, that's going to leave a lot of bullies scratching their heads, I think. You know, mostly because they're dumb. Bullies usually are.
But you look at his name and there's a billion letters there. It's
a lot going on.
That's very intimidating.
That's Scrabble victory right there. Valanciunas. I know there's something there. My brain's just not completely triggered on yet. Boomer Sooner says, good day, gentlemen. Studio, good day. Blender Nation, cross beautiful Phoenix. Watch a little USFL this weekend. Jeffrey, some parts weren't too bad, but then again, it was the USFL. Yeah, and I'm just not going to talk about that because I didn't watch. Did you watch, Izzy? Did you watch any USFL?
I didn't know.
No. And it's probably our 3 jobs to do so, but none of us watched it.
I saw a highlight when I sat down. It was on the ESPN. I saw literally a blocked punt. So that's all the USFL that I've watched.
Yeah, and I was driving down the road, and I heard here on our station one of those BetQL shows on Sunday, and the guy was sort of they were talking about betting, and you kept hearing him go, "Oh my God, and what happened? Oh, the quarterback just got his helmet ripped off. Yeah. Oh, he just threw a horrible interception. Oh, it just everything they described, you're like, this is a very bad game. Whatever's happening, it's a very bad game. So I was like, I've done the right thing in not caring. Big Jordan says, hello, Jeffrey. Hope you, Keon, Izzy had a wonderful Easter weekend. Jeffrey, you're not being selfish about the MVP thing. Devin Booker should be at the very least a finalist in the MVP award race. The fact that neither he or Chris Paul are finalists is a travesty of justice and just shows you the media bias. You hear that, Keon? The media bias against the Phoenix Suns. The only way they can prove them all wrong is by winning the whole damn thing. Yeah. And they'll still disrespect them. So what?
Yes, still. But I just, to me, it runs really strong because it's not just that the Suns are really good. I used to live in San Antonio when the Spurs were winning, and the Spurs were winning, but they were boring. It was not a surprise
they really were.
To anybody
why
they weren't getting attention. They were boring. It was boring as sin to watch. This Suns team is fun.
Yeah.
Devin Booker is fun to watch. Chris Paul is fun to watch. Like, how on earth?
The bench is fun to watch.
Yeah. I honestly, one of my favorite players to watch in the league is Cam Johnson.
Absolutely.
Like that dude is fearless. He will go at the basket at anybody, any shot blocker, and he'll try and dunk on him. It's great. But it's like the media doesn't even see the entertainment value, which is like the one thing the media is supposed to see.
You know what? Fine. Screw them. We've got them, and we appreciate them. That's all that matters. Let's see here. Last Optimist says, seems to me they're often trying to figure out who brings the most wins to their team. If that guy was gone, how many more losses would the team have? Guy who elevates his team would be, the most would be the MVP. But that's an imperfect way of seeing it, though. And I understand what you're saying, but we don't think it's right.
And Giannis is gunning for MVP number 3, and he's missed time, and Chris Middleton has been able to carry that team.
Right.
So it's not like
maybe Chris is the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, you could make a case for Chris Middleton being the MVP of the Bucks in some stretches of games. So it's not just that because that team's loaded too.
Boogie says some years is extremely clear who the MVP is. What if they don't make awarding the MVP award mandatory? The years where there's a clear MVP, the league award them. The years when there isn't, don't give out the award. Okay, that was a little bit drunken ease right there. But there always is a MVP. There's no reason to not.
Yeah, even if the league has a down year, there's still a most valuable player in the league at some point. It may not be the best MVP we've ever had, but that year, somebody was the most valuable.
Yep, the best of what's left. Mr. Pringle says, big time asterisk next to the Suns Pelican series. Zion Williamson isn't playing. Well, okay.
How can that be an asterisk? Zion hasn't played this whole year, and it's highly doubtful he will play going into next season.
So it's not an asterisk. They got to the playoffs without him. This is the team that got to the playoffs, win or lose. No, there's no asterisk.
They started the season 1-12 with Zion Williamson on the bench. That was the team that would have been the Zion team.
By the way, Mr. Pringle is a hater. King Kitten says, faux. to the finals. Suns will not lose the game before the finals. Dude, no, don't do that. Why?
I'm sorry. You play in the Western Conference. You will lose some games. It will happen.
Can I tell you something? So I'm watching this Wally's sports show, or the Wally's, whatever the hell it is on the TV when you watch the Suns. And there's what's left of Tom Chambers and some other fella, and they're sitting there. They're sitting there at this desk, and they're doing that thing where they have a crowd behind them, hooting and hollering and screaming. I wanted to hear what Coach Monty had to say. I just had to turn it off. I can't take constant screaming of idiots. And I know these are Suns fans, but as people, when there's a camera, they all become idiots and start screaming and thing. And then somebody started the Suns and 4 chant. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Don't do that. There's no reason to go to that point. Look, the way that you look at this is you win 16 games in the playoffs, you're an NBA champion, win 15 more. I don't care how you win the series, but win 15 more games.
I just don't like a lot of noise in the background. I hated that.
And they at least, I don't know if they've done this in previous years, but I've been watching this season and they've done it every game this season. And I don't understand that at all.
That's annoying.
So you guys didn't like the Suns at 4 guy last year?
Oh no, that was fun.
That by itself, but we're talking about having a screaming crowd behind a couple of broadcasters, just screaming inane stuff, not really hearing what those guys are saying, and just sitting there like, I'm on TV. You should be ashamed of yourself. And they're on their phone. You see me over here? Do you see me over here? Oh, wait, move to the left. Oh God, have some dignity, people. All right, it's you got a camera in your hand. If you want to be on TV, just shoot yourself. Okay, I didn't mean that the way it sounded, but maybe I did. Heavy Metal Maniac says, is Zion Oliver Miller mini-me? I think, I don't want to be rude, but I think Oliver Miller had more heart. I think Oliver Miller might have been a bit tougher than Zion.
I don't know how tough Zion is, just because he is dealing with a legitimate injury, but his injury is connected to the fact that he's not in shape. So I don't, to me, I'm like, where is the desire to get back out there on the floor, whip yourself back into shape, get a little bit lighter so you can take some of the stress off of the foot injury? I don't know.
Well, I know what I saw from Oliver Miller, and occasionally he played with some heart and he played some good ball, but occasionally not so much.
When Zion plays, he's amazing. It's just he never plays.
All the other games still to talk about. Maybe you got some comments on what you saw with the Suns. It was a concern, not a whole lot of rebounding. It was a concern. They let a team that they had down for the count get back and get close and give them a scare. And this is just game 1. Was it rust, or is it a symptom of something else? You guys can have your say, 888-368-1580. But other than that, we're talking about every game from the weekend. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're worried about your investments, you're not alone. These are challenging times, but it's not time to panic. It's time to act.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, founder and president of Compact Asset Management. With over 40 years of experience in the financial markets, I've seen what panic, indecision, and bad advice can do to investments. When markets are up, especially when they're down, it is important to be decisive yet balanced. That's our approach at Compact Asset Management. Call my office today at pound 250 and say, talk to Mo. We will discuss a proactive, balanced approach to your portfolio that can help safeguard your investments and keep you on track with your financial goals. Call pound 250 on your cell phone and say, talk to Mo, and let's create a strategy for your investments today. Again, from your cell phone, call pound 250 and say, talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA, SIPC.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Before becoming a professional announcer, I took the announcer oath, which forbids me from misleading listeners.
Just wrap your heads around the reality of that.
That means I speak the truth when I say you can listen to us on your smart speaker. Just say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender. Well, the NBA playoffs are here, and you can make every single game feel like Game 7 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, an official partner of the NBA. Now, throughout all the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has so many great ways to play. And best of all, when you do win, you get paid faster than a fast break. If you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code Randy1580. Once again, that's promo code Randy1580. And if you already have an account, you're all set, ready to go. All set to bet, no sweat. Either way, you get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Remember, you've got to be 21 or older, present in Arizona. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet, $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? You need to call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
I'm really surprised that the Fourth Dimension has come up with no teasing nicknames for Valanciunas. There's got to be something, or is it just likely to be so filthy that nobody's going to come up with it?
I mean, I expect it to be very filthy, but I don't. That doesn't stop them from coming up with other things that are incredibly filthy. Things that you have literally said that's funny, but I can't read it on the air. That's never stopped the Fourth Dimension before.
Right. All right. Well, the Fourth Dimension is a little bit quiet right now. I suspect hungover from whooping it up and watching that game last night. You guys watched the game. What was your takes on it? Right. You watched the game, Keon. And what I saw was DeAndre Ayton. He was playing some serious defense. So was Mikal Bridges, and there was a lot of rough and tumble. But DeAndre did great on the defensive end, but I wasn't really feeling how well we did offensive rebound wise, and it kind of felt like towards the end, the Pelicans were out rebounding the Suns. What was your take on the way things went down last night?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this series. That was the way I came away with. Mikal Bridges' defense, especially against CJ McCollum, was very hopeful for me. I think if that's the way this series can go, if Mikal Bridges can keep CJ McCollum in that, what did he shoot? 9 of 25 from the field.
Yep.
If you make him inefficient, because CJ McCollum's thing is efficiency. If you make him an inefficient scorer of the basketball, well, that's where you want him to be, because he's the guy that gets things going for them. Without him, it gets very, very difficult for them to get rolling. But yeah, I would like to see DeAndre Ayton, who did a pretty good job defensively, do a better job of keeping Valanciunas in check on the boards and challenging him at the rim.
Something's going weird in my headphones. Can you check, make sure tie line is off the mix minus bridge for me? Because I'm getting some weird click, ching, ching, and then audio coming in and out. So it could just be me. I don't know. Just make sure that it's not there. Anyways, how about you, Izzy? Watching these, these Phoenix Suns, wishing the Bulls were more like them, I'm sure. What did you see here? Did you see DeAndre Ayton earning his max contract, or did you see him shying away from adversity? Do you see, the Suns playing a team they can sweep? Where are you at with this?
DeAndre Ayton definitely has potential to be the aggressive guy that he can be, but he's just not there yet. Granted, he's still on the defensive side, have 4 blocks as well, so he's still showing.
Oh yeah, he was mean mugging and screaming, and he was going crazy sometimes. But it just seems like when it comes to the offense, he gets a little timid.
Right, exactly. And even CJ McCollum himself, he almost had 10 rebounds in that game. When there's a guard on the side as well, grabbing almost as much boards as your big man, your starting big man, that's a huge problem in itself. I think the biggest thing about the whole game was just rebounding. I think just defensive wise, the ball movement, everything of the Suns is just natural. Losing it in the third quarter hurt a little bit, but I don't think anybody was really worried, for the most part.
Right. Maybe the thing with DeAndre Ayton is when he gets down on the offensive end, he gets a little more intimidated, not by the other players, but by his own team, knowing that all of these guys are super, snipers and players and stuff. And yeah, because I saw a couple times, even in this game, I was like, no, where he could have dunked, where he could have easily put it in, where he kind of like he didn't really make as much of an effort to power through something to get those points as you thought he was. I wonder if there's just two parts. One, he's a little timid on offense, and two, he's just a super damn nice guy, and he may not have that killer instinct.
I think he's a finesse player. So like some guys are just
finesse works when the ball goes in. Finesse don't work when it doesn't.
I mean, he was 10 to 15. It's not like he was missing everything that came.
I know, but when you see a couple of the ones that are super easy, that stands out a lot more negatively than others. You know what I'm saying? It was like a couple of times I'm like, what are you doing?
I just don't think he's that bull in the china shop guy. Is
right.
What I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And I don't think he'll ever be that. And maybe doesn't have to be.
Okay. But you think this version of him gets max contract, deserves it, no doubt about it.
I do. I mean, when you look at the quote unquote big 3 of the Suns, it's Chris Paul, it's Devin Booker, it's DeAndre Ayton. All those guys scored about 20 points, and all of those guys made big shots. And DeAndre Ayton, especially on the defensive side of the ball, did what he had to do to make sure that the rim was protected and that the guards for the Pelicans didn't have like easy lanes to the basket, that they didn't have any. They had to work for every single thing. So I do think so.
I it's just the eye test, and I understand statistics, I understand things, but then there's just those moments you see which should have been gimmies, should have been easy, and then there's not, and then there's the why, and that's because of that lack of aggression, that lack of follow through. I must be in a huge minority here on this, because everybody says give him a max contract. Everybody says no, based on his stats. But like I've said before, I was one of the guys saying, Carson Palmer, not really the big deal you guys think he is, because on the eye test, there's certain moments where he fails you every single time, and it throws all the stats out the window, because where are you at? I don't know, out of the playoffs. So that is, I don't mean to, I like DeAndre Ayton. I want him to succeed. I want him to be, paid like crazy. Super nice guy. It's not where you want your super nice guy, though, is it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you're wrong to say that there is another level that DeAndre Ayton can hit where the Suns would be more they'd be able to close games out more easily. They'd be able to completely silence opponents a whole lot more easily if DeAndre Ayton could do that. And you see it happen sometimes. I do think you want to see more of it, but
you know what we need? We need to get him in a toxic relationship right now.
Oh boy.
That man needs to dig deep and find. It's not like an actor. It's like you can't really cry in a scene if you don't have some sadness in your life to pull from. we got to piss this man off. Something has to happen. He's such a nice guy, though. I don't know where that comes from. You know,
we need JaVale McGee to go back to his dysfunctional Wizard days and just start pranking DeAndre Ayton endlessly. Just make it happen.
I don't know if pranking's going to do it because then DeAndre's like, oh, that was good. No, so he needs a toxic woman in his life, I think. You know, that's what I think. There's something where he's just like, oh, I don't want to be here right now. And then like he sees her face. I don't know.
That's all he sees when he sees Jonas Valanciunas. It's just a 7-foot woman that he's dating.
or like in the well, that's frightening. That's probably
That's
a turn off.
very terrifying. But
Like,
you know,
it's like in the Water Boy when you're like, Gatorade is better. You know, Henry Winkler, the coach, was like in everybody's face, Gatorade's better than water, and he just loses his mind. We need something like that from him. But all right, I will relent to everybody saying, okay, he deserves the max contract. I don't know. Just want that little extra something. Kaler the Quitter says Valanciunas, more like Valentubas because he blows.
Boy, that's
from the long list of Mormon insults. It's not bad. But
okay, yeah, that if we're giving it if we're grading on the Mormon curve,
for the rest of us, he says Ayton had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, and was +7 in plus minus. Max that man ASAP. I get it. I know what you guys are saying. I'll take the abuse. Mr. Pringles says, good Lord, Jeffrey, quit bitching about Ayton. That act is tired. It's not an act. I see these things and it vexes me. Blissful Hayes says, how dare you speak bad of Carson Palmer? That man is in the Cardinals Ring of Honor.
Is he really?
Yeah, he was there pretty much immediately. It's almost as bad as the Colts participation trophy banner that they have out there. By the way,
a Cardinal.
Izzy, you were in Indy. Did they take that damn thing down, the participation trophy banner?
I don't think so.
Oh, damn. I wish they would. Oh, it's an embarrassment.
I was like, I never heard them taking it down. I think it's probably still up there proud.
Don't say proud. Don't say proud. Against the Spread says DA deserves max money because his game is very unique in this day and age. He's an old school center that has a dynamic game. He also is an old school soul. He has an old soul in there. He's like a kid, but he also is just like, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I love the guy. I just want that extra. Just get him. Has he ever had Jolt Cola? Did we just get him like a case of Jolt Cola? Maybe that's it.
We should raise some money for that.
Against the Spread also says, can you guys ask Bruce Jacobs from the morning show to bet against the Suns? Because he always loses. That dude is a jinx. Remember last year when he was planning the championship parade? Hopefully they're not doing that nonsense again this year.
You would think he learned his lesson, right?
Or he's doing it on purpose because he secretly hates the Suns.
Oh.
I don't know. Somebody should look into that, but not me. 602 Pats fan says, well, if Devin Booker is with a Kardashian or a Jenner, same thing, maybe set him up with Khloe Kardashian.
I don't know.
That's one Kardashian that might break him completely.
Yeah, we're not trying to destroy the man's spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, Tristan Thompson.
Get over here. Whoa, no. Easy. Give her a sugar cube. Come on now. Mr. Pink Eye says, trade Ayton for Rudy Gobert. Give Gobert that max contract. Okay. I don't know if
I don't know that that's
really,
a great trade. I wouldn't take Gobert over Ayton because I like that Ayton can score. I've seen the Jazz throw the ball into Rudy Gobert at the end of games and watch this man completely fail to put the ball in the basket because that's not his game. He's a defensive juggernaut, and that's mostly it.
Good point, Navy Devil. Says DA is a gentle giant. I'd prefer not to pay anyone from Arizona money, though. It's a good point.
Let's hear now.
Boogie says, what if Booker hooks up with hooks up Ayton when the Kardashians? Wait, what? What if Booker hooks up? That's what I just said. That's what I just said, Boogie.
But more clearly,
how drunk are your texts today, by the way? Lost Obi says, I've been in Cali since Thursday. Haven't checked my bets, but it's got Jordan Spieth to win the RBC Heritage. Could win $41. Do we know who won that? I know a deer was messing with Jordan Spieth. We'll find that out for you, Toby. We'll be back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-249-2509. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-249-2509 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-249-2509 to see if you qualify. That's 800-249-2509.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. And join me 1 to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. NBA playoffs continue on Monday night. We'll look back at the series and preview our Tuesday night's action, including Game 2 of the Suns and Pelicans. We'll take a left turn and look back at the dirt at Bristol. Does NASCAR need to be done with dirt? D-backs postponed Monday. Let's see if they get back on the mound Tuesday, depending on the weather. So join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. on 1580 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
Here's football star Tony Romo for Skechers Max Cushioning Footwear.
You know, when you go to your kid's game and you have to sit on those uncomfortable, super hard bleachers? That's how I feel now when I wear regular shoes. Why? Because once I started wearing Skechers Max Cushioning, I've been spoiled with how amazing extra cushioning feels. It's like going to sit on those hard bleachers and someone stuck a big cushy pillow on them. Because Skechers maxed out the cushioning with a thick, comfy slice of super light Ultra-Go cushioning for a soft, pillowy feel with every step. And the comfort doesn't end there. Max Cushioning also has Skechers air-cooled Goga Mat insoles, and they're machine washable and very affordable. These definitely won't max out your budget, so don't settle for inferior cushioning. Treat yourself to maximum cushion with Skechers Max Cushioning.
You heard Tony Romo. Now feel the difference extra cushioning can make for yourself with ultra-comfortable, machine-washable Skechers Max Cushioning footwear. See all the fashionable styles of Max Cushioning for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime. When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He's on vacation. Not alongside Ralph from Harmon Solar because he bailed. We are alongside Izzy. He's hanging out with us. Good to have him here. We got Keon in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And, of course, we talked mostly about the Suns in the last hour, but I think we need to talk about all the rest of these games over the weekend and kind of look forward to see how these playoffs are going to shape up. Let's get caught up on the text line real fast. Kaylor says, who just said trade Ayton for Gobert? I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. You mean like I was not upset, just disappointed when you quit? I don't know why you bother us so much, Kaylor, you quitter. And by the way, nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares if you're disappointed. You giant-headed freak. Sorry, what were we talking about?
got a little sidetracked there. Somebody texted earlier about trading DeAndre Ayton for Rudy Gobert straight up, which I don't think the Suns would do ever.
No. And you know what?
And I think Gobert's a great player, but it's mostly defense with him.
And then everybody's going to get COVID. So I mean, nobody needs that. Don't touch my mic. Don't touch my mic. Lost Toby says, I went to game 1. It was great. Going to game 2, Dubs in 6. Oh, so you're talking about the Warriors game 1. Well, the Denver Nuggets Well, they sure tried, didn't they? It didn't seem to matter that much that they did. Yeah, at first you're like, Nuggets are like, hey, we're all right. We're in the first, and oh, look at that. We're ahead by 1 point. Not anymore. It's over. Bang, bang, bang. 3 quarters in a row. The Warriors over 30. They just took them out pretty much in the second. And this Poole kid, let me get this straight. This Jordan Poole was supposed to be like a fill-in for either Steph Curry or he was supposed to be some sort of a fill-in for Klay Thompson, right?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, when they drafted him, they really thought that he was going to be, you know, a nice sixth man.
That's a bench player like we have.
Yeah, but he's so much better than that. And every single year, you could just see him get a little bit better and a little bit more confident. And this year, when he had all that time to play in the absence of Steph, the confidence was there. He's clearly put in the work and developed into a really impressive player.
So who's nervous now? Klay Thompson? Is he like, hey, wait a minute?
He certainly does make Klay look a little bit more expendable.
Yeah, and it looks older too. All right. So the Warriors taking care of business against the Nuggets pretty easily. I mean, there's no real surprises in that game, is there? Or were you shocked at how easily the Nuggets went down to these guys?
I'm a little bit surprised, just because you know, you got a guy that we've talked about in the MVP conversation, and Nikola Jokic, and look, he played well, he really did. But the thing that Jokic does better than any big man in the league is because of his passing, he makes so many other guys better. And the fact that he wasn't able to elevate the rest of those guys, and it's not going to happen every night, obviously, but the fact that it didn't happen in game one, a very important game, a game that you all knew to be prepared for, that surprised me.
All right, so here we go. The Golden State Warriors are going to play, of course, the Denver Nuggets again. What day are they on? Are they on? They're tonight. Yeah, they're playing again tonight. So is this going to be? Charles Barkley was saying like 4 different teams were going to sweep. Is anybody going to sweep? If there was one series that you could, after just these 1 games, say, oh yeah, that's going to be a sweep, which one would it be? Which would be your favorite for a sweep, Izzy?
To be honest, it'll have to be over here. And see, I wouldn't want to go there. I wouldn't want to go there.
Sorry.
Man, just punched him right in the gut.
Right. Just I was gonna give Phoenix love. Like
hi, Izzy. Sorry. But seriously, so you're thinking the Pelicans?
Yeah, I say the Pelicans get swept.
Wow, you're not just supposing, you're saying.
Yeah, I really like the basketball the Phoenix Suns are playing right now. Like, we already seen the outcome of the game yesterday. If Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum have a better game, then this can definitely turn around. But I can see the Suns, putting their foot on the necks. I can see them holding it on for 4-game series.
Well, all right. How about you, Keon? Who do you see with the best possibility of sweeping?
I kind of agree with Izzy, actually. It's the way that the Suns play defense. That's what has me really interested. The way that the Pelicans were all shooting inefficiently. It wasn't just any one guy. But you talk about CJ McCollum because he's the best player, but they were all shooting the ball poorly. Even Valanciunas, who scored 18 points respectively, didn't really shoot the ball that well. And if they're going to shoot the ball like that, I don't really care if they throw their best punch at the Suns. That's not going to be enough.
Maybe Brad wants us to he's like, hello, man. Jeffrey, can you tell us how the Lakers are doing in the playoffs this year? As expected, Navy Brad, as expected. 888-368-1580. Well, we don't have much that we need to say about the Golden State Warriors other than Poole coming into his own makes them a dangerous team, made it easy for Steph Curry to kind of hang back and continue to get healthy.
And yeah, they're going to bring him off the bench next game too, because if you can have Jordan Poole playing like that, why rush?
As long as it works, right? But as far as the Golden State Warriors go, I have to root against them now.
Uh-oh.
I don't like Drake.
Oh, well. Nobody likes Drake.
Yeah.
Do you know why I'm saying? Drake has put a massive bet on the Warriors to win the Western Conference.
I did see that, actually.
200,000 Canadian dollars, which comes out to 158 or so thousand American dollars. But to win, and he'll win about 800,000 American dollars if Steph Curry and the Warriors are able to basically beat the Suns to the conference finals, or whoever else makes it. I mean, I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket, but $800,000. So I just don't like Drake. I don't like Drake. I never liked Drake much to begin with. I don't even know any of his music. Everybody says he has good music. I'll take your word for it. I'm sure I've heard it. I'm sure it has passed through my ears at some point, but I don't know these things because I don't care. Ever since he was sitting around giving people massages on the sideline for the Raptors, I've had and by God, he's Canadian.
And like truly Canadian. Like there's some guys on the show, we go, okay, you play for the Blue Jays, it's hard to root for you.
Foreigners should not be allowed to bet on American sports.
But you got drafted.
Sound like Bruce Jacobs, don't I? Sorry. Sorry, go ahead, Keo. Sorry.
Some guys get drafted onto those teams, But Drake is truly a Canadian export that we should give back at any time we can. Just send him back.
Bieber, Drake, we'll keep Shatner. You can have Jim Carrey. There's all kinds of Canadians that if we had like a draft, if there was an American draft, they could draft like 5 Americans and we could draft 5 Canadians. I don't know. Would we come out on top on that? I don't know.
I think we come out on top. What are we drafting for it though?
I don't know. Maybe it's just we're just drafting the Canadians we'll keep and just throw the rest out.
Oh, okay. I'm okay with that draft. We'll have to put that together.
Anyway, so I'm rooting against him just because his winning this bet means the Suns don't get where they're supposed to go. So Lost Toby says, I'm very confused by your texts. That's the thing. You can tell who has an iPhone when they just hit. It says liked and it reads your text. It's like you say, so my sister. I was like, I sent her something and she's like liked. I'm like, well, that was a lazy way to respond to a text, wasn't it? But Lost Toby is trying to get me to say he doesn't get how Poole isn't top 3 and most improved. He was struggling in that G League just last year.
Well, that's the thing is, again, why is Ja Morant there? Jordan Poole, that's a great point. Jordan Poole has a stronger case of being most improved player than Ja Morant, who was, the number 2 overall pick in his draft class, was pretty much good from day one, got injured and had to bounce back, but his production never really dipped. It wasn't like we were not sure that Ja Morant was going to make it. Jordan Poole was literally playing in the G League and working his butt off to get the opportunity to come back. And when he came back, it took the opportunity and seized it. That's literally the most improved player.
He is the Kurt Warner of the NBA.
Ooh. My mind's blown a little bit.
So it has officially come out. The Berg has brought it to my attention, but it has been reported that Mikal Bridges got screwed. Marcus Smart has been named the Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. So what do you guys say? All right. Is that fair? It's okay if you think it is. I mean, it's all right.
He's a really good defensive player, but Mikal Bridges did just about everything that Marcus Smart does defensively, and he didn't miss a game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and every night, Marcus Smart is a bulldog. He'll go after anybody. I really do like Marcus Smart. But Mikal Bridges was, who's your best perimeter player? I'm guarding that guy. Even last night, Mikal Bridges is on CJ McCollum, and he makes CJ McCollum's life hell. We saw what CJ did in those play-in games. He ran into Mikal Bridges and made 9 of 25 shots. I mean, what? I don't understand. No, I'm a little offended. If I'm honest with you, I am a little offended.
We did see Mikal Bridges make a dumb mistake last night when he let his emotions get the best of him, and he kind of smacked the ball, and then he punched the pole for the hoop. Towards the end of the game when he got frustrated, which he got teched up for.
Which, of course, but Marcus Smart is that all the time. Marcus Smart is that's what makes him a great player, is that he's reckless. He never There's no off switch on the motor. But if you want to say, hey, makes dumb mental errors from time to time, Marcus Smart makes more dumb mental errors than Mikal Bridges does.
I could say, maybe there's some riggedness going on here, some NBA riggedness, some rigging, because look at that same thing we just brought up. Mikal Bridges smacked the ball, kind of hit the back of the, that padding that was on the hoop, and he got technical immediately. DeAndre Ayton was getting his ass beat pretty much most of the night, and they called it incidental. Tell me that there wasn't somebody trying to stretch what should be a sweep out into a 5, 6, 7 game series. I mean, that starts to make me get conspiracy theorious.
I don't want to go there, but it's just the Pelicans are a nice story, and I do think that, if the Pelicans get a win and stretch out the series, why it might look a little nice. I just hate it.
It cracked me up when I'm sitting there. I'm looking at the game. I look down at the score, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" It's their logo, and in a distance, it looks like a mighty bird of prey. And you look closer, it's an ugly ass pelican. You're just like, "Oh, that's not doing it."
Credit to the designer that made that pelican as badass as you can make a pelican.
It's like somebody made a knockoff Genesis. You know what I mean? And it's just like you get closer and you're like, oh, that's not even real. That's dumb. Nick Whiskers says, do you guys think the Minnesota Timberwolves stealing a game in Memphis is a fluke? Do you think they could really beat Memphis in a 7-game series? Well, I don't know, man. 130-117. And Minnesota came out gangbusters in the beginning of that game. And, they messed around and let Memphis hang on and try to come back, but then they just kind of took care of business later on. But fluke? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think it's a fluke. What do you guys say?
I don't think it's a fluke at all. Both teams are just really, really young. Ja Morant, the Timberwolves pretty much let Ja Morant run around, run wild, do whatever he needs to do, as long as you pretty much get hold of the rest of the team. Dylan Brooks went crazy for 24, but it just wasn't enough. You have Anthony Edwards. D'Lo didn't have a great game, but if D'Lo steps up, this is going to at least a good game 7, and Memphis might even get upset in this.
I mean, and Steven Adams is the guy that's supposed to be the veteran presence for the Grizzlies, and he is the anti DeAndre Ayton. He's got all the fire and the passion you want to see. The man scored no points.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a problem because, Karl Anthony Towns is going to get his. The other center,
he did.
Steven Adams doesn't have to, score 20. He could score 11. He can score 13, but he's going to have to start scoring for these Grizzlies because it's obvious to me that these Timberwolves score in bunches. I still think Memphis is going to win the series, but that game 1 was not a fluke.
888-368-1580. Kaler says, wait, didn't Marcus Smart just give up a ton of points to Kyrie Irving yesterday?
Yeah, but that's Kyrie. We're
going to talk about Kyrie a little bit later. Yeah, that's Kyrie. That should be the name of a sitcom.
That's so Kyrie.
Blissful Hayes says, I really enjoyed seeing Kyrie Irving using sign language to interact with his beloved fans in Boston. Yeah, classy, right? Yeah. Boogie says, I'm drinking through my Easter hangover. Even if Ayton never toughens up, he still fits with this team very well. You don't get a max contract because of how you fit with the team. You get the max contract based on how good you are and how good you look to continue to be. So Navy Brad says, hello, men. I read that one. Spuzzman says, cool dude on sports radio. Okay. Hefty Lefty says, have we covered Jason Tatum getting suspended for stealing every dolly in the Sun City area to make his shirt yesterday? Oh, yeah. Doilies. Yes. What was up with the doily shirt? Did you guys see that? It's exactly as it was described. Jason Tatum had a shirt made from grandma's doilies, the entire thing. It's like something you'd expect to see if like you were in Miami, if you were just kind of cruising the streets of Miami looking for some drinks and some fun. Yeah, I'm right on the verge of man card violation with that shirt, to be honest. Boomer Sooner says, it's a good bet for you, Jeffrey, in the draft, minus 240 for 5.5 wide receivers taken in the first 10 picks. Sorry, what? Kind of felt like we were talking about the NBA.
Yeah, I feel like we brought that up with Josh Applebaum last Friday.
Yeah, Boomer's listening to the podcast again. Leslie Hay says, The Cobra deserves Defensive Player of the Year. Mikal Bridges, right behind him. Berg says Kyrie just waved again. Number one. Boy, he just loves us Boston fans. So where are they releasing? So we just found out who won Defensive Player of the Year. Are they going to trickle this information out about who won what over the course of the night? Is that how this works?
I don't think this stuff is officially out there. It's stuff that's getting leaked, I think.
Well, who's
because
leaking
I
this
know,
Shams Charania? Which, by the way, what the hell kind of name is Shams?
I don't know.
I
but
wouldn't trust Shams.
Shams
Shams
Charania he's a writer for The Athletic. And if
Sham Charania,
the NBA trade deadline, everyone said that he stole Woj's crown because he was breaking a lot of the stories before Woj did. So he is a pretty respectable journalist as far as his accuracy.
All right. It's kind of a weird name. Donnie says, afternoon, boys. My T-Wolves look good over the weekend. Yeah, but how about you predicting a Pelicans sweeping of the Suns, you turd? I actually called him a turd on Twitter, and he knows what I'm talking about. He always constantly just trashes the Suns. I don't get your problem.
He likes
man.
to troll the people, so I don't take it personally.
I don't take it personally, but he is a turd. I mean, there's no doubting that. Also, can we just somebody up security? Because don't you think the chain that this woman used to chain herself to the backboard at the Timberwolves Grizzlies game, another one of these protesters, don't you get the idea that maybe that chain would have set off the metal detectors?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when you go to stadiums, even with the first person with the glue, there's you're not allowed to bring any liquid of a certain size and whatever. Like, how'd she bring glue in? And now here it is with the chain.
Well, it's not like you're getting on an airplane. You can bring liquid into an arena. It's the metal that they're really worried about. And by the way, I think I know how. Look at that. She sweet talked her way through. Look at that, lovely. Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm looking into the abyss, but
she could talk her way into anything, man. Yeah. She's something.
My theory is
she's a looker.
The lady with the glue came in as a protester, glued herself to the floor. The Timberwolves won. And so now we're just going to let a protester in every game.
Oh, lucky charm.
Yeah, just a little good luck for the team. It worked once, it worked twice. Let's just keep letting them in there.
Yeah, and they're all upset because they say Glenn Taylor roasts animals alive. And why do you think the food from the concessions tastes so good?
I just don't know. Going to the game, first off, you have to pay to get into the game. So you're giving Glenn Taylor money. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what about any of this.
Then get arrested.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Glenn Taylor roasts animals alive as Glenn Taylor takes your money and laughs all the way to the bank. Like, what is he supposed to think about this? I don't think he regrets anything because, oh no, a lady chained herself to the basket and got more attention and media eyeballs on my team. Oh no.
And the next woman's got to be coming down out of the ceiling. Seriously.
If that doesn't happen, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed.
Hamilton Porter says, okay, be hobbyist. I think he means honest. Did any of you watch more than one snap of the USFL? No.
Nope.
We didn't. Why would we like ourselves?
You don't even have to ask us to be honest. No, there's nothing. I would have to lie to tell you that I did watch.
I know that I know the ratings were about on par of the AAF and the XFL. I know that the reports are there was like 100 people in the stands or something. It was as expected, pretty much. I honestly surprised they had 3 million eyeballs on this on TV, but it's first week. That's the way it is. Mm-hmm. Click. Hell no, click. And that's the way it works. That's the way it works.
It's a novelty. And so people did tune in and watch it a little bit. But when you watch the football and realize it's not good football, you're not going to stick around.
I would rather watch Glenn Taylor roast chickens alive than watch USFL. But if you watched it and you saw something you liked, let me know. I know a lot of people are talking about the helmet cams and the glowing ball and then this and that. So if you maybe in the 5 o'clock hour, because we're really moving too slowly with these basketball games. We're going to have to get quicker with this. We'll do that when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-807-1981. 800-807-1981. 800-807-1981. That's 800-807-1981.
I'm an Arizona truck driver. I deliver food, medicine, supplies, and hope.
And during times of crisis, I support our communities. But every day I see people putting lives and families at risk.
Distracted driving is deadly, period. Be aware, be safe, and visit sharetheroadaz.com and find tips on how to drive safely around trucks.
This message is sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation.
Uncertain times can lead to fearful investing, which could leave you in a bad spot, especially if you're trading on emotion. When tumult opens and closes the market, you need sound advice.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. If fear has you in its grips, it's time to take a look at your investments. At Compact Asset Management, we specialize in providing complete wealth management solutions to help you reach your financial goals, no matter where the market goes. Dial pound 250 in your cell phone and say, talk to Mo for a free portfolio review. We will also discuss how we can work together to create your customized retirement plan. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say, talk to Mo, and let us help you take the fear out of your portfolio. Again, call pound 250 on the cell phone and say, talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA SIPC.
You can hear the grunts of pain. You can smell the workout sweat. You can feel the muscles straining. And even if you can't, we can.
And that's all that really matters.
NFL training camp.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Here we go.
It fills the senses.
Well, everyone's but yours.
Get the latest info, insights, and breaking news here.
Respect what it is we're doing here.
On your home for the NFL, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender. We're trying to get through these playoff games here. Not doing a very good job, by the way. We're at hour number 2, and we haven't even mentioned a single Eastern Conference team yet. So we're going to try and pick up the pace on this and get to the Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks. And Izzy, there were some things there that I found to be surprising. And yeah, we got Jeffrey back. Hi.
Go ahead. Don't let me stop you.
There were a couple of things I thought were surprising, but the thing that surprised me the most was how close this game was, seeing as how Luka Doncic was not playing in this game. And I think that there may be some hope for the Dallas Mavericks in this series. Do you think that there's any hope, Izzy?
To be honest, no. I think that was this game. Game 1 was like their best bet. Donovan Mitchell had a really, really slow start and then eventually picked it up at the very tail end of the game, dropping 30 at the second half. But it's just, without stopping Donovan Mitchell and without, staying in the game without Luka is great in itself. But it's just when they faltered all the way at the end, it's not looking good. I feel like they needed this win.
Well, I was thinking that if they hang in there, because I assume Luka's going to come back at some point. I don't know exactly when that's going to be. There is talk that he may not even be back for game 2, which definitely ought to be concerning for the Mavs. But if he does come back for game 2, if you can play that well without Luka, then even if Luka's not 100%, you would think that they would be able to play a whole lot better when he comes back, because he at least is a great passer. And Luka, I mean, look at the man.
Yeah.
He's a little doughy, There's nothing wrong with that, but this is not a guy that's exploding to the basket. He's not ultra athletic. It's all basketball IQ with him. And that is why I think that the Mavs can still hang around in this series. And I'm also not particularly thrilled about the efficiency of Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
He did get it going near the end, but there was a lot of chucking the ball up. There was a lot of taking some of the high difficulty Kobe-esque shots without the high difficulty Kobe-esque results. And that's not going to bode well for the Jazz. But they were able to get things going. They also gave up 24 points to Jalen Brunson, which is a problem, right?
Yeah. Hey man. I'm totally spacing on my man's name. Your guy, Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Spencer.
How do you space in the name Dinwiddie?
I know, because we was talking about him the other day too, and I was like, I was thinking I had him in my head for a minute, but even he went off for 22 points. We talked about how good he was coming from Washington and just bouncing from different teams that he was in.
But then again, his points didn't come from regular shooting. He was great at the line. He was 6 of 15 out in the field. So that ain't great.
No, I said good. I just downgraded to good. It was a good downgrade. But even then, he would be besides him. I wouldn't know anybody else whose number to call on. Jalen Brunson, I'm pretty sure his number wasn't the go-to guy. His number wasn't the one being called on. I think Spencer would have been the one to facilitate and be the one if Luka isn't there. It would be him.
Got a question for you about how much do they charge per letter on the back of a jersey? How do they decide that? Is it per letter? Because it's a good thing Mark Cuban has a whole lot of money, because you got Dinwiddie. That's a big, long name. And then you got a guy, well, he's having tonsillectomy, but Frank Ntilikina. How do you say this dude's name?
It's Frank Ntilikina. I like to call him
Ntilikina. That's it.
I call him Frankie Nicotine because I refuse.
Frankie Nicotine, right?
I have no other way to say his name. It's he's French.
Okay, well, still that doesn't explain everything.
I don't. It doesn't explain everything, but I don't know. When he got drafted, I saw his name on the screen and I was like, "What?" And then they put the French flag next to his name.
You're like, "Oh,
yeah, no, made sense to me."
All right, well, whatever. Dinwiddie is almost as good as Bismack Biyombo. Nothing beats Bismack Biyombo, though, for me. That's
Also,
my favorite name.
On the Dallas Mavericks, Dorian Finney-Smith got one of the hyphenated names.
That's a hyphen. It's Irish and something. It's basically Irish and a name also you check into a hotel with. So, all right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your Utah Mormons versus Mavericks conversation there.
No, I mean, first off, always welcome. This is, of course, the Daily Blender with Jeffrey O'Brien.
Well, I don't need to be rude, but
you're not. So I have
to be nice before we get to the Bulls game.
The thing is, by the way, let's just take a quick look at Rudy Gobert for whoever it was that mentioned earlier that they wanted to trade DeAndre Ayton for Rudy Gobert straight up.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy Gobert got the 17 rebounds. That's nice. He scored 5 points. This is not an aberration. Like, Rudy's not a scorer. It's just not what he does. And if you said push comes to shove, which would you rather take? I'm going to take DeAndre Ayton and I'm going to take the points.
All right. Well, listen, as we continue to talk about the NBA playoffs, and we will, of course, if we're lucky, get through all the rest of the games and then talk a bunch of other stuff later on. Remember, the NBA playoffs, that's supposed to be next level basketball. I don't know if we've seen next level basketball in every matchup so far, but the people that you expect to bring it have brought it, and it has been a lot of fun to watch. And I just want to remind you guys, if you want to have even more fun with this, get a little skin in the game, as they say, this is as good a time as any to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Do that right now. Use promo code BET1580. You bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs. You get $150 in free bets instantly. Now, you use promo code BET1580 at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. You got to be 21 years or older. Arizona residents only. If you got a gambling problem, of course, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. This is for new customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And remember, if you're already a member, well, of course, you can really have some fun with some of those same game parlays as well. And by the way, each day of the first round, you get a risk-free bet up to $10 if your same game parlay doesn't hit. So there's something to look at there for all you existing users. 888-368-1580. Are we done talking about the Mormons and the Mavericks?
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. I mean, with the Mavs, the reason why they struggled is they don't have Luka, and their whole team is designed to work around Luka. If he's not there, unfortunately, what you have is a bunch of role players, and so the Jazz. And I just think the Jazz should play better.
Neither of these teams are going very far. No matter what happens.
I really hope the Jazz could make a statement this season, but they look like the same old Jazz.
Yep. All right, so let's mosey on over the Boston Celtics with a buzzer beater over the Brooklyn Nets. Old Tatum got that layup right there, and Tatum had a balls out game, 31 points, and the Boston Celtics being a factor that Randy had predicted. Were you almost surprised it was a close game?
No.
Just because the way the game went back and forth, it was just a brawl, right?
It was a brawl, and when these two teams played in the Eastern Conference semifinals a year ago, that's pretty much exactly what happened last year too. They just go back and forth. It's two teams that can score in bunches with elite scorers on both sides, and this is going to be the best series of the first round.
There was a moment in the third, you're sitting there going, yeah, there we go. This is going to be easy for the Celtics. They've got this. No, they don't. And you're like, what just happened? It was a good game. It was a lot of fun to watch, even though, human praying mantis Kevin Durant sometimes gets on my nerves. It was just fun to watch both sides of the ball.
Yeah, to be honest, even though KD had not a very bad game, but he didn't.
But by his standards,
yeah,
right.
Exactly. Wasn't efficient enough for this game. It's still Kyrie being the guy to usually step up, but that Marcus Smart, with that last play at the very end, the pump fake with 3 seconds left on the clock, like that takes guts. Like, a lot of like that's, and then the pass off to Jason Tatum at the very end, that was just a big clutch performance. I'm not shocked at all it was that close.
Yeah, that just shows you a well-oiled team because bang, 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 everybody had a moment to touch the ball before it happened. And that just showed that the confidence in that when the clock is winding down to be able to take care of business. That now the Celtics got to be taken seriously.
They do. And actually, there's a name that I was surprised didn't come up as a coach of the year finalist is Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Celtics. I'm a little stunned. Obviously Monty is the best coach in the league this season, but Ime has done a fantastic job with these Boston Celtics. They started the season rocky, but they got back on track. And the way that he sets his offense up to find great spots for Jason Tatum, he knows that Tatum plays really well in the mid range, and he's got Tatum operating in the low and high post. It's really fun to see the way his offense is. And his players have clearly bought into his system, bought into what he's selling, and that makes this Celtics team a very dangerous team.
Well, we know that Kyrie Irving, he's going to get fined, right? Even though
there's no way he doesn't.
Yeah, even though you didn't always see it on camera, just knowing that he's flipping birds to everybody in Boston, and the problem with that is you could be instigating some future issues, and they just can't have that. You can't have a crowd doing stupid stuff and just saying whatever they want. And you can't have players trying to rile up the other guy's crowds, calling him a whole lot of words. I'm not going to say or guess, but a lot of bad words. And so, they're trying to get a rise out of him. And of course, he's trying to play them and mess with them. Kyrie Irving is a different kind of dude. But when he goes into the negative like this, that could turn ugly. And that's just not something you want to have happen. And, he says, oh, I'm just keeping the same energy as the fans. Well, come on, Kyrie.
Well,
you got to have your energy, and then you got to shut that out. That said, we got to get control of these crowds again.
Yeah, we do. You can't, just because you buy a ticket doesn't mean you can show up and say anything you want, do anything you want. There's still a level of decorum that has to happen, even as fans, when we go out to games and watch. But the reaction can't be, let's make this negative. Two wrongs don't make a right. And if you continue that cycle, you like you said, something could escalate. But I think also, more to the point, Kyrie's the guy getting paid. You've got to be a professional in those ways. And if you want to go through the league office, if you want to talk to Adam Silver and communicate and say, hey, I don't think that this is the way that fans ought to be behaving, let's do something about that. There are avenues that Kyrie can take as a star player in the NBA besides giving fans the burn.
Well, he's just asking for it because here in an interview later, he says, if someone's going to call me out on my name, I'm going to look them straight in the eye and see if they're really about it. Most of the time, they're not. Well, now you're just saying, okay, are you going to get froggy? And somebody will. Somebody is going to get froggy, and then things are going to get ugly. And you should not be focused on that, Kyrie. You need to be focused on two things. One, winning these basketball games, and two, making sure your boat doesn't fall off the side of the earth when you get too far over to the edge, since, as you know, the world is flat.
Of course,
those are the two things you should be worried about.
There's obviously an ice wall around our flat disc. How else does
So we
the water stay?
Just hit the ice wall, and I guess we got to go back. Is that how it works? Like the Truman Show, you just right up to the thing.
That is correct.
I feel better now.
I strongly dislike Kyrie for making me look into flat Earth nonsense, so I can understand exactly where they're coming from. They're coming from a place of nonsense, and I should have known that from the beginning.
So, like I said, Kyrie is a different kind of dude. So, where do you guys see this series going? I mean, which team is the better team? Is the team the Celtics, or is the team the Nets?
It's hard to say. I think this is a series that goes 6-7 games. It's that back and forth, and I think it's that easily or that tightly contested. It's a very competitive series because you have scorers on both sides. You have great role players on both sides. I think Steve Nash, by the way, has done a very underrated job as head coach. I think he got good coaching on both sides. I want to say I give the edge to the Nets because Kevin Durant didn't play well, and they were in that game until the very, very end.
Mr. Pringle says, what's the best way to get NBA crowds to behave? Get vaccinated. What? I don't know if that's really going to do it.
I don't feel like that's what the cure for.
Be nice if they did, but he says, seeing what the Mavericks look like without Luka, it's obvious he is the clear-cut MVP of the entire association. Hamilton Porter says, you're right, Keon. Google the Michigan Panthers and look at the drive summary from their first half. That's some terrible football right there. Blissful Hayes says, Mikal Bridges should be the most improved player. Suns in 4. Kaler says, Glenn Taylor also doesn't even own the Timberwolves anymore. Yeah, but he was at the game. So there. 888-368-1580. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to get Izzy a moment to look at his stats, look at his information, and to defend his dissertation on why the Bulls even deserve to be in the playoffs, having scored the lowest score total of any team this weekend. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Get in on the first round action of the NBA playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. All DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on NBA hoops with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. Plus, each day of the first round, get a risk-free bet up to $10 if your same-game parlay doesn't hit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BET1580. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of playoffs and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's code BET1580 at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problem? 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FUN for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code FUN to earn 25 cents a gallon or more on your first tank. That's code FUN.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Brent Musburger. Don't miss Pro Football Blitz, Saturday afternoons, right here on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender. Well, the NBA playoffs are here, and you can make every single game feel like Game 7 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, an official partner of the NBA. Now, throughout all the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has so many great ways to play. And best of all, when you do win, you get paid faster than a fast break. If you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code Randy1580. Once again, that's promo code Randy1580. And if you already have an account, you're all set, ready to go. All set to bet, no sweat. Either way, you get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Remember, you've got to be 21 or older, present in Arizona. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet, $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? You need to call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
888-368-1580. Good Cat says, what's up, my guys? My Suns and my Celtics won this weekend. I couldn't be happier. Plus, I couldn't be happier that Jason Tatum hit that game winning shot over that ass Kyrie Irving. Really, a lot of people don't like Kyrie Irving. I'm just sort of amused by him, to be honest. I'm a little bit confused as well. I'm too oozed.
He's amusing, but I do think that some people are rubbed the wrong way by his personality. And I think you mentioned this one time about Richard Sherman, that he's smart, but he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
Right.
Kyrie, flat earth aside, is actually a pretty smart guy, but he's not as smart as he thinks he is. And he condescends to people a lot without being smart enough to actually condescend to anybody.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand that. Now I'm going to condescend to Izzy. And I asked him before we went to break to be ready to defend the Bulls, their existence in these playoffs. They lost to the Bucks 93-86. For clarification, the Bucks had a bad game. And here are the Bulls. They're shooting a season low 32.3% from the floor. Haven't been in the playoffs in 5 years, and they were 7 of 37 on 3-point attempts. All right, Izzy, convince us that the Bulls really do deserve to be in the playoffs at all.
Okay, I could probably answer that next game when they have a better shooting performance, because this game was it's not like that. It wasn't that Milwaukee Bucks had this overbearing defense. DeMar DeRozan missed a bunch of easy shots that he could have taken. Nikola Vucevic, right at the basket, it was missing layups. Like it was awful. But on the Milwaukee side, there was a bunch of pick and roll miscommunications, a bunch of turnovers from Giannis and Chris Middleton themselves. It was just a bunch of sloppy basketball. But the Bulls just couldn't bring it together at all. And I just bring it all to just bad shooting. It was just awful. Nobody can. And DeMar DeRozan is known for this. Like, as soon as the playoff hits, he's going ghost. We can't find him anymore. So it's just, I'm just hoping for a better game 2 and not getting swept. But it was just the whole game in itself was just atrocious. Like I don't think anybody there was no MVP in this game.
Do you wait till game 4 when you get swept to start talking to coaches, or how do you go about this?
Maybe when we win game 3,
and then you start talking to coaches so that they feel like, well, maybe I should try.
Well, it's not that they weren't trying. It was just they didn't know the shots just wasn't falling at all. Nobody could get into any type of rhythm besides Giannis, and that's kind of and Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday had a really great shooter performance in that game yesterday. So it's just a mess. But getting swept, I think Zach LaVine will gonna come back. He'll get his shooting form together. The Kobe White coming off the bench, Patrick Williams as well. He didn't get enough minutes as he should. I think the Bulls can at least squeeze out one.
Can't take the Bulls very seriously, Izzy. And let me tell you, I'm not saying this just to hurt you. If there's a sweep, it'll be these guys. They'll get swept. And let me tell you, I don't blame you or your players. I blame the organization. And here's why. Your organization is too cheap to put the team up in hotels in Milwaukee. Everybody back on the plane, back on the buses. We're going back to Chicago. Then we're going to fly back out again later on. Well, we don't want to pay for hotel rooms, I think. Why are they doing this? Why are they going back to Chicago rather than staying in town for game 2?
I think it's just there's nothing they're working on. There's nothing that's getting it. I think they should have definitely just stayed there. I honestly don't know, to be honest. That's honestly a question I've had since this morning.
Jerry Reinsdorf is known for being one of the cheapest owners in the NBA. I mean, it's not even. I know that people go after Sarver, and with his history, rightfully so. But like guy that's been skating under the radar for years, Jerry Reinsdorf.
Reinsdorf is probably going to each hotel room when they do have hotel room stays and grabbing the mint off of everybody's pillow. And he's like, I'm going to have this ready for Valentine's Day. I'll have a whole box. Come on, man. All right. So I, of course, have just given Izzy a hard time. Izzy, I'll be honest, you really you didn't say much for your team. I'll be honest. But Keon, as an objective observer, aren't these the sweepers? Aren't these the most likely to be swept team, or do they have a chance here?
I mean, I'm still going to lean to Pelicans being highly likely to be swept. But I think the Bulls have a chance to win a game because DeMar DeRozan is known for being an efficient scorer, and the dude was 6 of 25 and really missed a bunch of gimmies. Even Giannis said after the game that nobody should be proud of this game. Zero people. And he played the best out of everybody. And even he wasn't truly happy with that performance. It was a bad game. Outside of the Jazz Mavs game, that might have been the worst game that happened this weekend because nobody played well. And I think that the Bulls have one performance in them where everybody is firing on all cylinders, LaVine and DeRozan. And, Caruso's giving them a couple of minutes. There is at least one game. But I don't think they're going to be swept. But they're not winning the series. They don't shoot threes. And it's obvious how much of a detriment that is.
Well, your team is like, keep the engine running. As soon as the game's over, we're getting back in. we're going back to Chicago. Hefty Lefty says it's only a 45-minute flight from Chicago. Isn't it? Maybe they just asked the players if they'd rather sleep in their own bed. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Seems kind of silly to me, though.
Yeah, it's not far, but it's still the back and forth. It's an extra moment of rest when you could have it. It's a little extra practice when you could have it. You're spending on a plane.
Yeah, I just dropped my wife off at the airport and I'm exhausted. Can you imagine doing the whole thing and then doing the whole thing again and doing the whole thing again? They should have just stayed in town. For that, no, I do blame Izzy. 888-368-1580. All right, so the team I think is going to go all the way to the finals, the Miami Heat, more than handled their business against the Atlanta Hawks. And what a rough day for Trae Young. Just had probably his worst shooting game of his career. And this was not the one to do it in. You just, showing up on a playoff game looking this bad, this rusty. I was surprised at how bad sweaty baby doll hair Trae Young played.
I was surprised too, but I will give credit to the Miami Heat for how physical they were with him. They never really allowed him to be comfortable. You know, Trae Young has spots he likes to shoot from. They never really let him get to his spots. And this is a good defensive team from the perimeter. And I think it all starts with Kyle Lowry, who didn't give him much on the offensive side of the ball, but he didn't have to. If you're going to make Trae Young play that bad, like 1 for 12, 0 for 7 from 3. And look, Trae Young's not going to shoot that poorly in this series again.
No, of course not.
But
bad game.
It was a bad game, but it wasn't just a bad game. Like he slept wrong and got to the gym and it was bad. They made him look bad.
They were waiting and ready and worked him.
There was a game plan for Trae Young and it was obvious.
Yeah, and of course that 19-point halftime deficit. Atlanta's second largest of the season. This could also just be looked at as their worst game of the season. You just hate to have a hell game on the first game of a playoff series. And I have no doubt that the Hawks will come back and make it competitive, but it's hard to see them surviving this series, even with Trae Young hitting all cylinders. Because even if he hits on all, this was a 24-point difference. So even if he hits on all cylinders, you see it happening where they could actually come back and win this series. I'm just not seeing it.
No. And Izzy, do you think that the Clint Capella loss is what's really holding him back? Because I think if you're going to shoot bad, they're normally a better defensive team than this. But Capella being injured, their rim protector, their guy that stops people from getting to the basket, he's not there. Do you think that was a big factor?
Yeah, I think that was a huge factor. And you got John Collins, who this is like his first game back. So he's still on limited minutes. He's still not doing the greatest to his ability. He didn't get hot till like the fourth quarter. Well, didn't start scoring until the fourth quarter. So even there was some instances Trae Young threw some lobs up. Nobody was there, or no, it was just a irresponsible turnover from Trae Young. Just the suffocating defense from Miami Heat. They switched on them 21 times in that game 1. So that's perfect. That's a complete lockdown.
All right, the last game that we have in front of us is the Sixers and the Raptors. The Sixers more than took care of business. Nick Nurse was not happy. Now, I wasn't happy with seeing DeAndre Ayton getting kind of beat down, but does Nick Nurse have a point about the fouls and the non-calls and the things that were going on in this game?
A little bit, because the Sixers were just going to bring the fight to them. This is a Raptors team that is very experienced in the postseason. They're very composed. Nick Nurse is obviously a fantastic coach. They're well coached, but you can beat this team up. Like Pascal Siakam, talented player, doesn't really like to get hit. Fred VanVleet, talented player, doesn't really like to get hit. And the Sixers don't mind. They don't mind at all. Like, they'll beat you up. And Tyrese Maxey is another name that you could have thrown in the ring for maybe a defensive player of the year nod.
Where did this guy come from, right?
I mean, when they drafted him, he was just a defensive player. Now he also scores. That's going to be a problem for Toronto. I think that they're in some serious trouble.
Senior Wake and Bake says, all is I say here is, sorry, Izzy, your Bulls are done. Keon's waiting for a high pick, and Suns fans are expecting a championship. It sounds about right.
Yeah, that's
we can't even. That's again another coherent text from Senior Wake and Bake. Very unexpected, but appreciate it.
Just a nice little winning streak for Senior Wake and Bake.
So Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Meek Mill were hanging out at that game, and I just couldn't help but just wonder, is he going to pay $20 million for somebody else to? Did you hear about that thing with Antonio Brown? He says he will guarantee Antonio Brown will do a good job, or he'll pay an NFL team $20 million for the trouble. So basically, hire Antonio Brown, and then if it don't work out, Floyd will cut you a check for $20 million.
It's not about the money, Floyd. It's that while he's on your team, he might cost you 3 games because he's out of control.
Head cases helping head cases on the next Jerry Springer. Yeah,
right.
I just brought that to mind when I saw him sitting there courtside. But all right. So the 76ers put it to the Toronto Raptors. Any other comments, thoughts, recipes, medical transcripts about this weekend's NBA playoff action?
Well, I was surprised that James Harden decided to re-enter the NBA. And
when did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I was sure that the Sixers were going to put out an APB on old James Harden. And no, he decided to come back and play basketball, and good for him. Let's see if he can do it for three more wins.
His ups and downs with the Sixers so far, I would imagine his playoff ups and downs will continue. That's my prediction. He's just so inconsistent. All right, guys, that's it for hour 2. We got an hour 3 on the way. We will go ahead and I will finish up with your guys' texts about the playoffs, but also we've got some baseball, some football, and if we have a moment, we will make fun of the USFL. I mean, if we have time, of course, because I don't even find them important enough to tease. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Nick LaCapria with the Daily Sports Quiz. Well, when you make the cover of the Rolling Stone, you are special. But in sports, it doesn't happen that much. Can you name the first ever sports athlete to be on the cover of the Rolling Stone? The answer is coming up.
When you want trivia from the world of sports, Daily Sports Quiz host Nick LaCapria has it. Baseball lovers, go online to baseballtrivia.org. Basketball fans, check out basketballtrivia.net. Football fans, head on over to footballtrivia.net. Hockey trivia, that's hockeytrivia.net. And boxing fans, log on to boxingtrivia.net. Stay tuned to this radio station for the Daily Sports Quiz or visit Nick LaCapria's sports-specific trivia websites.
Well, there's been a lot of great athletes over the years, but who was on the front cover of the Rolling Stone first? Baseball's Mark the Bird Fidrich, the man that talked to the baseball from the Detroit Tigers. The answer to today's Daily Sports Quiz.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona.
Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia
keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene.
You need to tune in
to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down, because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White, not Ralph from Harmon Solar. We got Easy hanging out with us, and he's been a good sport about me bashing the Chicago Bulls and everything he loves.
Yeah, I'll cry about it later.
Yeah. Now, there's no crying in radio. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says, Money Mayweather needs to call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, because I think that's where all his money's going. You might be right. Drake's not too far behind him if he keeps making bad bets. Listen, we just finished up talking about the NBA playoffs. We covered every single game. Now, of course, tonight you got Raptors, 76ers, Jazz, Mavericks, Nuggets, and Warriors. Well, by the way, what's the current situation with the Raptors and 76ers? They should have just started a little bit ago.
Yeah, game's underway. There's 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and the Raptors lead the Sixers 25-24.
Okay, all right, that's good. They're making a game of it. And then in about half an hour, you get Jazz, Mavericks starting up, and then 7 p.m. for Warriors and the Nuggets. All right, but so before we move on to baseball and football and stuff, let's go ahead and do this. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for 4 quarters with Keon Rose.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I'm going to have to just roll on awkwardly without this music.
Oh, that's right. We were supposed to fix that for you, and we didn't. So
yeah, well, we do have some
hum a little bit, so he feels like he's got music.
you don't have to do that. No, you guys are good. This is really okay.
We're not humming the same thing, Izzy. I don't think it's going to work.
There really wasn't a plan. There was no.
I should have probably given you a song. Oh well, maybe next time.
No. Next time we'll have,
okay.
We'll have
work
all
on
the things in place. But let's just get to first quarter here. Player or team who had the best playoff performance this weekend?
Well, that's easy for me. Well, Chris Paul. I mean, that 19 points, 17 of which just straight in a row. When he basically willed the Suns to pull back away from the Pelicans. Well, yeah, that right there, even in that short little span of time, that was the best performance for my money of any of these games this weekend. Izzy?
I had Jordan Poole, 30 points, 9 of 13 shooting, 5 for 7 from the 3-point line, especially with Steph on the bench coming up big for the Warriors. I thought he was a top performer.
Not bad. You're incorrect, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I like the Jordan Poole pick, but I'm going to go with Chris Paul also. The spurts of time that you see where he turns back the clock. He doesn't just look like super Chris Paul. He looks like a young Chris Paul. And the 3 threes in a row, that is cold-blooded. That is a guy who has seen so much stuff. He's not even fazed by some of these things that happen anymore.
Of course, like any other Suns fan, you're sitting there going, please don't beat the play, you get hurt. He's driving the basket. All I'm thinking is no.
Yeah, here's what I'm hoping, that the injury he had earlier this year, that was the injury. It's out of his system. That's what I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed, knocking on wood.
Yep. Let's get to second quarter here. What was the most bizarre moment this weekend to you? You had obviously the Minnesota protester. There was a second one.
I think Izzy is going to immediately say the Bulls not winning.
No, see, I wasn't gonna go that far. I wasn't gonna go that far.
Go first, Izzy.
Right after him.
I was gonna say the Trae Young, Jimmy Butler situation. It wasn't really a situation like a beef going on as like most people tried to portray it. Like, because it was like as soon as him and Trae Young got into it and that little situation, it's like the ESPN Bleacher Report. It was just like things are getting heated in Miami. Things is getting, but
then when you saw it,
Trae Young just kind of gently laid his head on Jimmy Butler's chest, and they were already down probably 15. So it wasn't really. I thought that was it was weird. It was blown out of proportion.
Well, I think the most bizarre moment. I mean, we can't say it's the woman chaining herself to the basket because we've seen that. I don't know. You know what? I think we're just getting numb to these things. I think the most bizarre thing to me is that we're numb to a guy flipping off the crowd multiple different times in the game. And most people are like, no, that would have been a big deal back in the day. I don't get too bent out of shape about those sorts of things. But again, I hate to be that guy, but you got kids watching and you might be instigating violence from the crowd. And then now you're putting yourself at risk, you're putting your other players at risk, you're putting security guards at risk, coaches at risk, all across the board. But then we're all just sort of like, yeah, okay, it's Kyrie. Yeah, that was kind of bizarre to me that happened and continued to be allowed to happen.
Yeah. And if there's not like a $50,000 fine in Kyrie Irving's future, I really don't understand.
Surprised we didn't hear about it today.
Yeah. I tried searching for it to see if there was any word from the league office, and I hadn't seen anything. I saw a lot of people speculating about the fine, but I didn't see anything about the fine. I would say one of the most bizarre moments this weekend was not just Kyrie flipping off all the fans, but the post-game press conference. He had this awkward exchange with this reporter, and the reporter was saying, hey, you're you're bringing kind of negative energy here. And Kyrie corrected him multiple times to say, I'm not being negative. Kyrie, double bird is always negative. Go to anybody's face and put those up in somebody's face and see if the reaction isn't negative. You're
and then even my gimpy finger makes it worse, right? Because it's kind of coming at you there.
It's definitely, it's more in your face than it needs to be.
That's like a great. This is my fun finger. This is my I really mean it finger.
But that whole exchange, and then he also ended the interview by saying, "Yeah, I'm just going to embrace the dark side." So you are being negative then, because that's what that is. The dark side is not the good side generally. But okay, sure. It was just a very awkward, strange exchange that I hope I don't see again. Just the whole thing with that situation.
It's kind of weird.
Very weird. So let's get to the third quarter here. What is, again, player or team? Who is the biggest disappointment of the weekend for you? And we'll start with you, Izzy.
I gotta throw him in there. I gotta
oh no. I
gotta
throw your guy in
What
there.
did you think was gonna happen when you went to him first?
See, I thought this was a setup. I thought this was planned. Like
it's not planned. You could
Keon immediately feels bad.
You could choose anybody.
But I don't know who could top, 6 for 26 or 6 for 9 for 20, just a bad shooter performance on the Bulls all just the whole game. I put the whole game as a disappointment.
Oh, Izzy, why didn't you just say Trae Young? Why didn't you just go with that?
That's where I thought you were going.
You don't have to shoot yourself in the foot. Here's the thing. I'm leaving Trae Young for Keon. I'm pretty sure that's where he's going to go. I could be wrong. But for me, the biggest disappointment in the weekend is just watching the Suns blow a huge lead and let these lowly Pelicans back within 6 points. I mean, kept it interesting. For me, I got to watch the game and go, ooh. But that shouldn't happen. And so that was a big disappointment, is seeing that they come out so defensive, just amazing, and then they stop. Just that disappointed me, and I'm sure that they'll get that back under control and it'll be fine. But at that moment, that was my biggest disappointment, Keon.
And I can't necessarily blame you. You can't hold a team to 17 points in the first quarter and then give up 37 in the third. That's just taking away everything and all the hard work that you did to start the game. But yeah, I'm going with Trae Young, 0 for 7 from 3. Yeah, I know your pick and roll buddy Clint Capella's not there, but this is game 1 of an NBA playoffs, and you've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. You've gotten that experience already. You know how important this is. And if you find that you can't shoot the basketball, you've got to find some other ways to get your team going. 6 turnovers, Trae. That's not good. He led the game in turnovers, and that's going to kill your team every time, especially against the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to
on the hot seat. Izzy's on the hot seat.
On the hot seat. Which
Izzy, you're supposed to say on the hot
on
seat.
the hot seat.
There you go.
So which team? You look at them in their series. They're already done. They're already done. Yeah,
they're already done.
They're already done.
I'm saying the Pelicans. I'm just gonna say the Pelicans. I'm staying strong on the Pelicans here.
Please do. Don't throw.
I'm not gonna do this.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to
you've
say
been saying it all day. I don't know,
why, but now it just seems cruel. I've been good-naturedly poking fun at Izzy and his Bulls, but now I just feels it has transcended to bullying. You know what I mean? I got to pick a different team. How about, I don't know, Raptors? I don't know. I'm going to say Pelicans too, because I don't want to be the one that says Bulls. I'm leaving that for Keon.
I'm not going to say the Bulls.
Oh, you fat liar.
I'm not going to say the Bulls. It's going to be. I'm going to surprise you here. I think it's the Hawks. I think without Clint Capella,
one bad game.
It's one bad game, but the bad game told me a lot. It told me they don't have a rim protector. It told me when Trae Young can't play well, when he's got a bad game, there isn't another guy there that can step up. At least not against this Heat. It's just not a good matchup for them. They usually get something out of Kevin Huerter when Trae Young can't score well. They didn't get anything out of him. They usually get something out of Bogdanovich. They didn't get anything out of him. There's so many guys on this team that usually step up. Nobody stepped up. And I just think that that's not necessarily one bad game. I do think Miami is that good and that good is advertised defensively that I don't see the Hawks coming out of this one.
All right. Well, clearly somebody's got to keep it real, or as the kids say, keep it 100. And I have to now change mine from Pelicans to Bulls because I didn't want to be cruel, Izzy, but you can't just leave it unsaid. You know it has to be said, right?
No. This could have been unsaid. It's a possibility a game to still be squeezed out of here.
Yeah. Well, listen, you know what? Now, for you, I'm going to sort of kind of pull for the Bulls. I really don't care what happens in the East, but I hope you guys do get a win. Blissful Hayes says, unlike the Colts, the Bulls at least made the playoffs. Apples just spoil oranges, Blissful Hayes. Why would you do that to me? Hefty Lefty says, outlet mall Steph Curry won't be able to get past Miami. He just hasn't developed enough to overcome physical teams yet.
Outlet mall Steph Curry. Yeah, I don't think that that's necessarily true because, again, the dude already went to an Eastern Conference Finals. It's not like he is incapable of overcoming physical play because it's happened before, but he does have some of those nights where the physical play gets to him. I'm really looking, Shaq likes to talk about the others. I'm looking at some of these others where you got to take the pressure off of Trey sometimes. Nobody stepped up. Nobody stepped up in that game to help him out, and we saw the result.
Heckler Jones says, is Izzy a softball star too? What was that guy's name? What are you talking about? I think he's trying to talk about an old co-host from our past. No, and I'm pretty sure there's no way that Izzy would ever take a walk and saw a slow pitch softball. I mean, you just swing away at that thing. If it ever comes up in your young life, Izzy, you swing away at it, right?
Slow pitch softball? Yes. That's what?
How do you not make contact with the ball in slow pitch softball?
Well, if it's not in the strike zone, I mean,
Izzy, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
If it's not hittable, if it's not good enough to hit,
I'll walk halfway down the first base line to hit the ball. I don't care where they pitch it. I'm hitting it. Come on, man. Big George says, Jeffrey, the distance between Milwaukee and Chicago is like the distance from Phoenix to Tucson. If you could choose, wouldn't you rather sleep in your own bed in Phoenix than spend the night in Tucson? Milwaukee is like the Tucson of Chicago.
Is it? I feel like there's nothing quite like Tucson.
Yeah.
Is that? Is it?
Yeah, you're comparing cheddar cheese to meth. And you can't do that, Big George. So I think that wraps it up for 4 quarters, right?
It does. That is the conclusion of 4 quarters. Good job, guys.
Yeah, thank you. When I went back and kept it real, I think that's where I won the 4 quarters for real. 888-368-1580. Number one Rattlers fan, he says his prediction of 58-22, not far off for the Arizona Rattlers win over the weekend. And I believe he has his photograph here with the star quarterback of the Arizona Rattlers. And of course, number one Rattlers fan, he's got a tattoo of the Rattlers logo on his bicep, and straight down his arm, he's got 6 different years where they have won the championship for the IFL and other things. So their championships, you're going to run out of arm there if they keep doing this. So congratulations to the Arizona Rattlers for their win right there. Let's see. Let's change gears here a little bit. Baseball is happening, but not for the Diamondbacks today because, the Washington Nationals were petrified and scared and could not take the field against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I don't think that was the case.
I might have spun that a little bit, but it's true. They are petrified and scared. A lot of it. No, there's a weather delay.
It's weather. It's DC in the spring. You're just going to have some days where it's too rainy and miserable and potentially icy to play baseball. So that's what happened there. But I'm not thrilled about it.
Ground. I think this might have been a good game.
Mm-hmm.
The Diamondbacks are 3-6. The Nationals are 4 out of 7. They both stank the high heaven this year. And when you look at, you can just say, I can spin anything. Izzy, watch how I spin this. So out of 4 games, you could say, well, the Diamondbacks have won 2 out of their last 4 games. Not bad. But in reality, they've won 4 out of their last 10. Okay, not great, but not horrible. But then you go farther back, they suck.
What you got to do is you shrink the sample size a lot. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, and I did include a spring training game too, so that in all reality, that's probably not a fair way to do it. But you spin it the way you need to. Okay, so your Nationals stink, Keon.
Yes, they are bad.
My Diamondbacks stink. Izzy, how are your Washington White Sox?
Washington White Sox?
I'm sorry, your Chicago White Sox. I'm having a hard day today.
Oh, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'm not gonna but it's usually like that. The White Sox start off really hot and then it's kind of falter later on in the season. So I'm taking it day by day, to be honest with you, but it's looking good.
All right. I don't know if you guys watched a whole lot of other baseball this weekend, but there was a nice moment. They brought out Tom Hanks for the Cleveland Guardians. I guess their home opener against the Giants on Friday. He went out there to throw the ceremonial first pitch, and he brought Wilson, the volleyball from Castaway.
That's funny.
Everyone's like, "Oh, look, he's got Wilson," and so of course he goes out there, and Wilson had the C logo for the Cleveland on the side of it, but it was a good Wilson. Had the bloody handprint, and so he puts the Wilson down, gets ready to pitch, and it rolls off the mound. You're like, "Ooh, there's a breeze out there." So then he goes over and grabs it, puts it back, and then it rolls down again, starts rolling around the field. And now you're like, "Wait a minute, that looks remote control." And so it started to respond to commands and nod. It was actually pretty funny. And so then, of course, he threw his first pitch to Larry Doby Jr., who is the son of the late Larry Doby, a Cleveland Indians legend, who was the first African-American to play in the American League. And it was a nice moment. And the Guardians, this is their first season since they changed their name from the Indians. And of course, Tom Hanks has been a fan of Cleveland since 1977. And remember, he was the narrated voice when they changed, they made the announcement last summer. So, of course, the game didn't go well for them. They lost 4-1, but that was kind of a nice baseball moment right there. And then, did you see these guys? My printer did not do well. So I don't even know if there's a reason to show you on the screen that the stripes is just my ink running out. But these dudes, 8 guys dressed up as the 1995 Seattle Mariners and went to the game in full uniform. Catchers were full gear on everybody. And so they go, you see them walking down the steps, getting their seats. And I'm sure the fans were like, "The hell, why are you up here?" Because they're dressed like full on players. But, the 95 Seattle Mariners were probably one of the best teams in the 90s. That's for sure.
Very fun team too.
And really, probably the best team the Mariners had. But yeah, they, that's a bit much. I don't know if I would ever cosplay and sit in the stands in like a full football uniform that said Johnny Unitas. I don't know if I would do that. You wear a jersey and it's like, hey, all right. You wear the full on cleats and pants and belt and hat, and the catcher had shin guards on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now
one guy was wearing a bald cap because one of the players was bald.
Yeah, and I thought. See, the funny thing is, I thought he just had blonde hair. No, that's a bald cap. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Is that cool, or is it like?
It's a little wacky. That it wouldn't be me and my friends. Let me put it that way. If I saw that, I would appreciate the commitment to the bit, but I mean, it's marginally funny because you forget about it as soon as the game starts. It's not something that you'll keep thinking about.
Maybe Halloween. You show up and you do that. Oh damn! My dog has just found they put on a thing that's behind the door. And
I never knew the name of it till now.
It's the thing. I don't know. Well, luckily he got bored with it. No, he just chewed the rubber thing off. Hold on a second. I got to take it from.
Oh boy. So, well, anyway, we're actually close right up to a break. So we'll get to some more stuff. This is the Daily Blender.
He's all right.
Oh, you're good. Okay. I was just about to
go right ahead. Don't let me stop.
Well, no, I was just taking us to breaks.
Take us a break, damn it.
You're listening to the Daily Blender. You're on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The NBA playoffs continuing on Tuesday night with 3 more games. Hawks and Heat play game 2 of their series with Miami leading the series 1-0. They're favored to take a 2-0 series lead, favored by 7.5 points over under at 217.5. The second game of the night has the Timberwolves playing in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Minnesota leads the series 1-0, but Memphis is favored by 7 over under at 241. And then the Pelicans and Suns, the final game of the night. Suns lead that series 1-0. They're favored by 9.5 over under at 221.5. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 The Fanatic.
Sun Devil Baseball is back for an exciting year under new head coach and Sun Devil legend Willie Bloomquist. The Sun Devils open the 2022 season with 9 straight home games and will feature non-conference matchups against Oklahoma State, BYU, and Grand Canyon. The team begins Pac-12 play against Washington before taking on USC, Oregon, and Arizona. Sun Devil Baseball single game tickets and mini plans are available now, starting at just $10. Visit sundeviltickets.com to secure your seats today. That's sundeviltickets.com.
Distracted driving kills in Arizona. Life is more important than your phone's beep. Stop the distracted driving, Arizona, please. Sponsored by the Arizona Chapter National Safety Council and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, aired in cooperation with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
What do a 450-year-old author and a bottle of 4 times distilled vodka have in common? Let's compare Shakespeare, shall we? Shakespeare, the man, the epitome of playwriting, the OG of live theater, the standard by which all others are compared. Shakespeare, the vodka, an original Polish spirit crafted from a recipe 12 centuries old with an unwavering attention to smoothness and purity, the standard by which all others should be compared. Maybe they're not so different after all. Shakespeare vodka is the Shakespeare of vodkas.
It's draft time. Here we go. The 2022 NFL Draft can't be stopped.
It's on.
Yeah, it's on, baby. And the future of the best college players is on the line. Who's going to which team? Find out with our draft coverage.
We're the first pick.
Listen for updates, the latest info, and breaking news from the NFL. Your home for the NFL for the Valley is 1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic. The Fanatic. The Fanatic.
It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, Keon, we got the 76ers and the Raptors playing right now. Looks like the 76ers have started to pull away. What's the latest with that game?
7 minutes left in the half. Sixers lead 52-42.
All right. Well, listen, the NBA playoffs, some games will be good, some games not so good, but it's always exciting when it's your team. And, if you're looking for ways of making these games exciting, if they're not your team, say your team's not in there, Wizards, and, maybe you just need to find ways of, making your bad performing team seem more exciting, Bulls. And, maybe you just need a little something. Well, I've got the idea for you. The DraftKings Sportsbook app it can be a whole lot of fun, and you don't have to spend tons of money on every bet. Like what I do $1 bet most of the time. And for me, it's about percentages. I have doubled my money since I've started doing this. And believe me, I've lost plenty of bets, but at least I didn't have to worry about where my next meal was coming from, or where the rent was coming from, or that sort of thing. You can bet at any level, bet wherever you're comfortable, just have some fun with it. And I got to be honest, it does change the way you watch the game. It does change the experience when you've got a little something riding on it, So I have had so much fun using the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and you guys should too. Give it a shot. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code BET1580. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs and get $150 in free bet instantly. That's promo code BET1580 at DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Got to be 21 years or older, Arizona resident only. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. This is for new customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And remember, each day of the first round, you can get a risk-free bet up to $10 if your same game parlay doesn't hit. So whether you're a member already or not, there are ways of finding some great deals, and they always have these odds boosts and stuff like that. So being an already member, there's already some cool stuff happening over the DraftKings Sportsbook app. 888-368-1580. So, of course, we were watching a crap ton of the NBA playoffs. But did anybody watch the golf? Does any? I mean, how can you with all that going on?
Yeah, there's too much, and I like golf, but I watch majors. So with all due respect to RBC Heritage, I didn't watch very much.
Yeah. The most interesting thing, how Jordan Spieth's sitting there ready to do his thing, I don't know, on the grass. And as he's sitting, all of a sudden this deer just comes galloping out in front of him and starts, kind of running around. But then it sees the crowd, is just like, oh, dear God, what am I doing? And it runs down the course, turns around, runs back the course, and then gets off the course. And then, of course, Jordan Spieth starts screaming at it, how dare it? Because you know how Jordan Spieth is about interruptions and those sorts of things. He's a little bit of a baby about it. But that was kind of cool to see a full-size deer just
galloping,
hanging out. Senior Wake and Bake says, Izzy, MJ called, says, have them stick their tongues out. Maybe that'll help. Get the bulls to do that.
No, it's not helping. No, they need a whole lot more. Need a whole maybe a little bit of Jordan special stuff. Maybe that'll probably come in clutch, but they need a whole lot more.
Hey, at least you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Take that. You got to the playoffs.
Yeah. It was a rocky road, but we're there.
So maybe you're just like, hey, we'll see how far we get here, and we'll get some good free agency stuff going in the next season, and better things ahead.
Yeah, hopefully, if DeMar DeRozan can, at least if we can get him to stay. And
see, Keon, that's how you do it. If someone's dying, you say stuff like that, and that helps. It helps them feel better, even though the end is near.
Doctors call it good bedside manner.
Yeah, I just bedsided the crap out of Izzy right there. I just remember that if I'm not here. Sorry, Izzy, what?
No, nothing. As soon as we can get a game or two, I'll walk in here with a smile on my face.
Izzy's dying right now until they win. Bala 51, is that yours? He showed a same game parlay with an awful lot going on. How much could you have won for that? He had $5 on, dear Lord, how many legs is that? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 leg parlay on the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, Lord.
And he only missed it by one.
Oh.
Devin Booker for 2 made threes. Devin Booker over 23.5 points. DeAndre Ayton over 13.5 points. Chris Paul over 11.5 points. Chris Paul over 9.5 assists. DeAndre Ayton over 7.5 rebounds. Chris Paul to record a steal. Chris Paul over 2.5 rebounds. Devin Booker over 2.5 rebounds. Jay Crowder over 3.5 rebounds. Suns minus 3.5 on the spread, and Jay Crowder under 13.5 points. The one that got him, Jay Crowder did not get over 3.5 rebounds.
Wow.
That's amazing, Bala 51. There should be points just for getting that close. You know what I'm saying? That is an amazing how much would you have won? That's what I want.
With a 12-leg parlay, I imagine a lot of money.
Calling off work the next day.
Yeah. Bala 51, you got to tell us what that was going to pay. Hefty Lefty says, damn it, Izzy. Not my fat ass. Now my fat ass wants Rocky Road ice cream.
Hey, look, I ain't never had
All
it.
he said was Rocky Road. What do you mean you never had Rocky Road ice cream?
I never had it.
Well, why not?
I don't know. I've been robbed in my childhood.
You robbed yourself. How old are you again?
23.
What? All right. If you can't walk into a store and buy some Rocky Road or go to an ice cream shop and get an ice cream, that's on you, man. How do you not ever have Rocky? Keon, you've had Rocky Road, right?
I have.
Yeah, it's good. It's got the marshmallow in there. It's got the chunks of chocolate.
It's a fun ice cream. It's just got a bunch of really tasty stuff in chocolate ice cream.
What'd you make a face, Izzy?
Well,
Because I said marshmallow.
Well, marshmallow. It just sounds like a lot into some ice cream.
Trust me, it's good. It's not overdone. If you just get some Rocky Road, trust me. I'm gonna have to get him some Rocky Road. If you don't get some Rocky Road, I'm gonna have to get some for you.
I'm getting out of here and I'm buying it right after this.
All right. I don't believe you. Prison Mullet says, you know what else changes the experience? Popping and crackling and bad signal. Okay, I don't know. You're talking about my microphone? Yeah, we're aware of that. There ain't nothing I can do about this. Is it still sounding bad? Yeah. Sorry, Prison Mullet. We're working on it. Senior Wake and Bake says, okay, let's talk second round, Izzy. Well, not so fast, Izzy.
see, now the text line has to get into this. Like, and now you know what? I'm gonna save my tears. I'm gonna save all this for when, like I said, when we win at least 2 games.
We've upgraded from 1 game to 2 over the course of this radio show. By the way,
I'm trying to talk myself into some happy. I'm trying to talk myself into at least some good luck. I'm speaking into existence.
Izzy, you're a northerner. Keon's a southerner, so he'll get this. You might not, but bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Blissful Hayes says, yeah, MaxiPad is dominating for the Sixers. I don't think we should call him MaxiPad.
Especially since he's playing well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Doesn't seem to fit there.
And also, the request was, let's get a Jonas Valanciunas nickname.
Yeah, nothing.
How did Tyrese Maxey get a nickname before?
Zero.
Valanciunas, nobody even attempted, which
it was one. It was one guy that said, I forgot what he said.
That's right. But it was really bad.
It was
the tuba. No. I actually excised that from my mind. I forgot that even happened.
Did not work out.
No.
In honor of Randy White, I will at least mention that Kyle Busch won that dirt track race over the weekend, and that's all I know. I mean, I don't know anything. I think it was rainy and slippery and kind of nasty out there, but they still ran the race. But that's all I know.
I mean, on TV, visually, it does look good. I didn't watch the whole race. I didn't get to see it to the end, but just seeing the cars kind of drift around corners, actually more fun than I would have thought.
That's all I got. I just know who won. That's
oh no, watching the car slide that's my analysis. That's the full. I did that once in probably a dangerous way. It was Christmas, and I was 18, and I had my girlfriend. I was taking her to go see her grandmother, and I thought, let's take a shortcut. And I started taking canal roads. This is back in the 80s, before everything was illegal, and this probably was too. But so I go down these canal roads, the big wise pieces of canal roadage. It wasn't dangerous, like I was going to go in the canal. But I was sliding the car in the dirt and the mud, and I was kicking it up. I was like, woo! She was screaming. We pulled up in front of her grandma's house, mud just falling off of my car, and she's shaking as we went to the door. I never saw her again after that. But it was like some of the funnest driving ever. I'm sorry. There's sometimes when there's a screaming woman in the car, and that just makes you even more fun, Just that means I'm doing it right. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it right. Marshawn Lynch is doing it right. He's bought in, I guess, as a minority owner with the Seattle Kraken. And you know what he got for his money? He got to drive the Zamboni. That was like first thing he did. Of course.
There's this video of him just like basically driving his Zamboni the way I drove my car on that canal road. Just just spinning around. What a thrill if you're a hockey fan, or even if you're not, to drive the Zamboni and just have fun with it. Have you guys ever had a chance to drive a Zamboni?
In my dreams, I do want to.
I've done it. I've done it.
Is it as fun as it looks?
It should be. Marshawn Lynch got to have more fun than I did. Of course, I have a reputation, at least at that time, for doing things. And so there was an official sitting there next to me like, only do this. Oh, you touch that and turn, I'll take you right off of that. I swear, I know you think that you just crazy. I'll just take you right off there and I'll throw you on the ice. It was very strict. So I'm like, okay. But I did get to do something I should have never been able to do. It was Easter, probably 1996. I was doing the music station. We were doing a radio remote, the Easter remote. And the fire department showed up with a ladder truck. And I'm hanging out with these guys. And he's like, you want to drive the ladder? I'm like, yes, I do. And they meant right now. So I got to get into the ladder part of the truck, and I'm steering the back end of the truck, the ladder. And they're telling me, okay, now turn right, turn hard here. You know where we drove? Through the parking lot amongst women and children and parked cars. And all I can think in the back is, I shouldn't be allowed to do this. Oh, no. I don't know if that's better than the Zamboni, but they made it more fun than the Zamboni.
Right. And also Marshawn Lynch's most iconic moment, by the way, is when he was at West Virginia and he took the medical cart for a spin and was just driving around. So like just the Zamboni just takes me right back to that day.
Yeah, he drove it just like that. He drove the Zamboni just like that cart. Joe the Show says, I let the ladies of the night ride my Zamboni. Does that count? Dude, you got to go get tested for everything. Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that on the radio, but
this is part of the truck, No, I don't even understand that. I don't know what that means. Well, now we all need to take a break, take a shower, come back, and finish the show clean. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona.
Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia
keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene.
You need to tune in
to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
Did you know that Constructors Bonding has been Arizona's leader in surety management for over 40 years? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than anyone, anywhere. Contractors, developers, attorneys, car dealers, and hundreds of other industries turn to Constructors Bonding for their bond solutions. Call me personally at 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution for better bonding.
Distracted driving is dangerous, Arizona.
When you pick up your phone to send a text message, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to take a call, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to check an email, you're putting lives at risk. And now, when you pick up your phone while driving, it's also against the law in Arizona. Don't get a ticket. Don't pick up your phone. Sponsored by Arizona Chapter National Safety Council and Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
This is Brett Musburger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
It's David Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. You want to hear something weird? I take the kids to school this morning, and I'm pulling back in my driveway here at the house. And I see a Roadrunner with a mouse in its mouth, like it's some sort of velociraptor, you know, with a critter. I was just like, I paused. I pulled up. I was like, and it paused as I was pulling in, and he kind of looked at me like, "You're damn right." And kind of just walked off. I'm like, can't you fly? No, he was like bragging. He was just like, yeah, look what I got. Your dog is next if you keep messing with me. I'm like, oh, go ahead. It's I Spanish custom, and I'm not sure why, but they say it's bad luck. If a Roadrunner crosses your path, you're supposed to immediately start vulgar swearing at it, like real top level swearing. And that's the only time I get away with it. My wife and I will be on a walk. Here comes a Roadrunner. I look at her and she kind of nods, and I just let loose.
all the pent up swearing that you normally can't let out. Oh,
It's
thank
for the
God
luck.
it's a Roadrunner.
Yeah, it's for the luck. You got to. And then I was just like, I forgot about it. And then we're driving along, and her mom is in the front seat, and all of a sudden in Spanish, she just lets loose of some of the nastiest stuff I ever heard. And I'm just like, what the hell? Oh, there's a Roadrunner. I was like, at first I was like, my driving is fine. What is happening here?
What's funny is you've got that Roadrunners jersey behind
Yeah,
you.
yeah. No, okay. So real Roadrunners don't look like that. You should Google what a Roadrunner looks like. They're like the sharpest edged bird. They have pointy everything. Everything's pointy on a Roadrunner. And by the way, both you guys being from other places, they're mean. Don't mess with a Roadrunner. They're not cute and like fun like the Roadrunner and the Coyote thing, the cartoon. No, they're bastards. They're mean. They will they'll come at you, and they get pretty big. Not like big like Roadrunner standing like 5 feet tall. They make the Roadrunner on the cartoon look like an ostrich size. Basically, they're only a couple feet tall. They get maybe a little bit bigger, but they'll jack you up. They're not nice birds, is what I'm trying to tell you. And by the way, coyotes also not like in the cartoon. Real coyotes. Have you seen a real coyote, Izzy?
Yeah.
Keon, you seen a real coyote yet?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, so then they're basically like the wolf's like stepbrother who cooks meth in the garage. That's what a coyote looks like. Which, to be honest, is why I'm surprised that we use that as a mascot for the hockey team, because they're just these like shady looking little wispy things that make a lot of noise, out in the desert.
I guess that makes sense. I just didn't anticipate that they made sounds because I've never heard one. And so like when I think of Roadrunner sounds, I think meet, like
they don't do
cartoon.
that. They don't do that.
I didn't think that they did, but that's the only sound that came to mind.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm not sure what the sound they make. Chirp, chirp. I don't know. Boogie says, listening to Izzy negotiating with himself to be happy despite the forthcoming demise of the Bulls sounds like me halfway through the NFL season. Oh, yeah, Izzy. Boogie is a Detroit Lions fan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Such a strong reaction.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one.
That's pretty sad for you, Boogie, when somebody said, who's a Bulls fan hears you say you're a Detroit fan, goes, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss.
And he's a Bears fan. He's supposed to hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
And he feels bad instead.
Yeah, the Detroit sports on all cylinders is just it's a mess.
Bruno Baller says real coyotes don't have the credit line for Acme like the coyote did in the Roadrunner cartoon. That's a good point. Yeah, there's no way current day coyotes are ordering anything from Amazon or Acme or anybody. Just it's just not happening. It ain't like it used to be. It just ain't like it used to be. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is I didn't know that a roadrunner would eat a mouse. Did you ever know a bird would eat an eagle, a hawk, an owl, but a roadrunner? That just blew my mind when I saw that. Or maybe the mouse is his friend and he's just like, I'm taking him home, he's drunk. Just trying to help the guy out. All right, listen, before we run out of time, let me go ahead and hit this real fast. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. We probably didn't find the music for this, or did we?
Well, we did, but we'll see
if it's the right button. It's time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1939, the 5-year ban on broadcasting baseball games on the radio by the 3 New York Major League Baseball teams ended when Red Barber, hired away from the Cincinnati Reds by Larry McPhail, called the Brooklyn Dodgers 7-3 loss to the New York Giants at Ebbets Field. In 1934, the 2 National League teams and the New York Yankees had originally agreed to not air games on the radio. You know why, right? Can anyone hear me?
I don't know why. I tried
well,
to think of a reason. I couldn't think of one.
Well, it's going to sound familiar because they were afraid that if they aired the stuff on the radio, that nobody would want to go see the game. And so they were worried that was going to hurt ticket sales. But of course, that was absolutely wrong. It was proven to be wrong. And then they thought the same thing with TV. And that might be more right than with what would happen with radio, but there was still always enough people. Hold on a second. My dog might just be about to pee on something. Hold on.
No, you got to stop that from happening. Yeah, no, I would have thought, I guess I don't know if you make the same mistake twice. Is that what that is? If you're blacking out games because you're afraid if people watched on TV, they won't show up to the stadium.
Sorry.
But the stadium experience is just a different experience. I love watching games on TV, but if I have the opportunity to go watch a ball game, I'm going to go watch a ball game.
Sorry, my dog was doing the pee-pee dance, and then I saw him go over towards the corner of the room. I'm like, oh no, that's my wife's side of the room.
Uh-oh.
We'd both be sent out to the curb. Sorry about that.
Did he make it?
I've not investigated yet, but now he's on the other side of this that little fence because I made sure he was in the area where there's tile instead of carpet, just to be safe. And now he's giving me the dirtiest looks. Yeah, I will be able to verify if he actually made it when I've done an investigation. So sorry, guys. Sorry. That's what happens sometimes when you do these things remotely. 888-368-1580. So where were we? We were talking about does TV take tickets away from the teams? Well, if you take into consideration, millions of people watch the NFL on the TV, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And you can only fit 50, 60, maybe plus 1,000 people into a stadium, correct?
Also correct.
Most stadiums end up being sold out. Well, you wouldn't know anything about that, Ken.
No, I mean, what with our toxic sludge that we pour on people when you go to FedEx Field, no one should sign up for that experience on purpose.
So, but for the most part, TV's not hurting the ticket sales. If you're the kind of person who wants to go to the game, you're going to go to the game. The kind of person who's going to watch on TV, you're going to watch on TV. There's still, population-wise, more than enough people to fill a stadium if you're worth a damn. And if you're not, then, that's the real issue, not TV, not radio. Now, I wonder if the next argument is going to be about virtual reality. I mean, whatever happened to that? They were playing with that where you would see it down in the court, right, where a courtside seats would be a couple of poles with balls on them, or on either side, so that it had like these cameras, and so if you had the VR goggles on, you could be like you're sitting in one of the seats. They were experimenting with that, but I never heard anything about it again.
I think they're still doing stuff with that, but I don't know how far along they are in the process of implementing it, or how much of that was just experimenting and then we'll come back to it later. I'm not exactly sure, but I know I've seen, especially in NFL stadiums where, I like the Ravens, if you take out your phone, before the game, there is a giant metallic raven that flies around the stadium, and you can see it, and it'll
Game of Thrones looking.
Yeah, it's very bizarre looking, but it's also really cool.
Did they have the Panther that did that? Carolina Panthers have the same thing. It jumps on the roof or something.
Yeah, it jumps it jumps over the side of the stadium, and it's a giant panther jumping around the whole arena.
In lieu of good football, we have special effects.
Do what you got to do. I mean, the Ravens are generally pretty good, but the Panthers don't have anything to give you. Might as well give the people a CG show.
The Bears have for you is history. Soldier Field, right? You don't have gimmicks. You got the history of the Bears.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Just a Soldier Field stadium in itself, and just the atmosphere of it all. Especially if it's a Green Bay game, like that's like ritual. Just going to a Green Bay game.
I don't know about the Colts. They have it's pretty nice. It's a nice field, right?
Field is a nice field. It's known as one of the better stadiums in the league.
Yeah, I've not been there. You've been there, Izzy. It's a good field, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, especially when the roof opens up, like right before they open up the doors. It's pretty cool sometimes on some days.
Okay, so but of course, it's planted right down in the middle of Indianapolis and Indiana. So I mean, you can't win them all. So I guess if that's where you have to be. Boogie says, over the past 20 years, has become very used to the reaction of sympathy and surprise from people when they learn that I'm a Lions fan. Lions fan, Tigers fan, Pistons fan,
Red Wings fan.
Lately.
Yeah.
I mean,
Boogie, if you guys, I feel if you just get your water situation worked out, things might get better. I think that's what it's all about, is the water.
I mean, it can only go up from here. To be honest, I can't imagine. I can't remember the last great or good, Detroit season. They've had.
That is the most backhanded, nice thing to say to somebody. It can only go up from here. You are literally at the bottom.
He's basically channeling John Lennon and Paul McCartney with I got to believe things are getting better. They couldn't get much worse. Hefty Lefty says, I like hearing coyotes yapping outside my backyard. They get steadily farther away once my pup goes outside and starts talking back, though. Oh, you got to be careful, though. Those coyotes, if they find themselves a little dog, well, that's the end of that thing. Good Cat says, I saw a pelican eat a rabbit once.
Oh, no, pelicans. So, sure, pelicans are not known for being very intimidating animals, but they will eat anything or try to.
I saw a pelican eat a seagull once. You see that?
I believe that.
That was uncomfortable.
It's always uncomfortable because they've got the big, beak, and the animal is still inside and
struggling inside,
very much alive. Yeah,
and the pelicans look at you like, oh, I got this. Kind of like remember in Men in Black, Edgar? He's like, sugar. I got this. There's a giant bunny or pigeon inside your throat. Mr. Pringle says dime bags are undefeated in games that they get rained out. Hey, we got that going for us. Senior Wake and Bake says Keon, Izzy, millennials that have to wait till the millennium until the fools and the bullets will ever be good. Go Suns.
What?
He's so stoned.
And also, the Wizards do get to be good occasionally. They're never going to be championship, but that's okay. They get to be second round of the playoffs every 5 to 6 years. I'm okay with that.
I guess the Bulls are the fools and the Wizards are the bullets in his rant right there.
Yeah. It was so awkwardly worded. It took me a second to try and understand.
Let me just say this, Izzy. Whatever happens with the Bulls, we hate how the Lakers are dining out on their championships from the past. I think you're still in range to still feel pretty good about Michael Jordan era of the Bulls. I think that's even, you know what I'm saying? You can still enjoy and kind of brag on that. You have the best ever to play the game, the best team to play the game. You had that for a moment. I think you're still in range. The Lakers, because they talk about it all the time, they've lost that privilege. The Bulls, though, at least take some solace in that.
And they are talking a lot about many rings that happened before many of us were alive.
Yeah.
You don't sit there and talk about all 17 if you saw 5 of them. That's just. But Laker fans will sit there and count them out to you. Okay. Thanks.
At least you wait. Does Chicago have a USFL team? See, if you don't know, you're better. Right. I don't know if the Chicago has one or not. I would doubt it. I love hearing everybody. It's okay. Nobody is being judged for not knowing on this.
Just like the one thing you're allowed to not know.
Izzy's like, please don't let there be one. Please don't let there be one.
Right,
Please.
yeah. I can only take so much right now.
Well, by the way, the USFL, as you noticed, got to keep using the team names that they had picked up from the old USFL, but the judge who allowed it has said you'll probably lose this case and you'll have to pay the old USFL a nice chunk of money for using those team names in future lawsuits, but he just wouldn't give them the injunction. So not good for the new USFL. They're going to have to pay through the nose to keep the names of these teams. That's right, for a league where they got just 3 million views and hardly anybody in the stands week 1. No, I don't believe that's going to get much better.
No, they're going to be out of business by the end of the season.
See you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender. Bye.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Here's football star Tony Romo for Skechers Max Cushioning Football.